We've got 65 southbound backed up due to a crash that's going to be blocking the right two lanes right there where 24 merges with 65, 24 eastbound, 65 southbound. Traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, kids. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another day. It's 7 minutes after 3 o'clock. How many of you have smooth criminal in your head now? Huh?
Well, I didn't until you did this just now. Now I do.
Can't get it out of my head. I don't know why it's in there. You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Bum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum bum.
Thank you.
Ba-da-dum.
Thank you, Jackson. That's how we get the show started off right with a nice little earworm. Earworms, I love them. I absolutely love them. You know them when you hear them, and you hate them sometimes, and you love them sometimes, but they stick. That's the whole point of the earworm. 1-877 cars for kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we've got a big show on tap for you, and I am proud to announce it is a Thursday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Thursday is a perfectly acceptable way to describe this day, and you don't kill a puppy when you say it that way. It is Thursday, August 7. Do I have that right? August 7, 2025. And we got lots to get into and lots to do. And I'm pleased to say that we are politician-free today. We are guest-free today. It's just me and you and the fence post until 7 o'clock. Well, Ken Weaver will be here. He's part of the shenanigans. Jackson Williams will be here. He's part of the shenanigans. And you and I. 615-737-9986. If I say anything that inspires you to pick up the old telephone and dial that number, I've done my job. 615-737-9986. You can also hit us up on the super text line if you so desire. It's the exact same telephone number. You can find me on a variety of platforms. I'm on Facebook every once in a while, but not really. I'm on Instagram every once in a while, but not as much as I should be. I am all over the X machine. It is an absolute cesspool. I mean, it's just awful. It's just there's no humanity over there, and I love it.
Murphy gets into it,
Lay in
boy.
there and wallow in it.
I mean, he gets after people.
I wallow about in the cesspool. If you think I'm mean here, need to go over there where I get my drink on. Speaking of getting your drink on, before we get into the meat of the subject matter of the day.
Yeah.
So Ken tells me he's got a full report. I have not availed myself. So last Friday, we were at Twin Creeks Marina on Timms Ford Lake. We were doing a broadcast down there, and good friend of the show, he's a FOTS. His name's Dale. He brought us some, is it Tenna whiskey?
Tenna whiskey.
Okay.
Or Tennessee.
Tennessee porter.
Porter. Oh.
And Ken, you have tried it.
I have tried it, and I want to thank Dale for that 4-pack, because I'm telling you, that is the best porter I've ever had.
Whoa. That's big words. Those are big words.
I love the taste of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this tastes a lot like Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Uh-huh.
And this beer apparently is put into barrels where whiskey was aged. And I mean, that flavor is coming through.
Nice. I'm going to try it tonight. You've inspired me.
Yeah, and make it real cold.
Okay.
Like, I mean, put it in the freezer for like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, just before it starts congealing, just pop it open.
Right.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
I'm going to go down there and get me some more.
Man, oh, man, that is a hearty recommendation from those folks.
It's real. It's real good.
Tennisky. Tennessee?
Yes.
Tennessee.
I believe so, yes.
Out of Tullahoma, Tennessee.
I didn't know they made beer like that down in Tullahoma.
Well, they got that. They got the haystack. I gave you 2 of those haystacks, those IPAs. Which
I didn't even go there. I was so
into the
Tennessee.
The porter. Well, Well, I look forward to it. Well, that's a good recommendation, and that is a hearty thank you to Dale.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, Dale.
We've got other thank yous to give out because I have. Look at this. If you're watching on the Talk TV, look at this.
You got a box of goodies.
Presents. I have presents. Kathy sent us presents, so we received presents.
Well, what do you know about that?
And I have a note here, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read the note to you, and then I'm going to divvy up the presents.
All righty.
All right. Kathy, a loyal listener to the show, hello, Kathy, has sent us presents. Matt, I heard Jackson say last week that he loves yo-yos. You know, I think, and this is not a part of the note, I think, hello, Jackson, you there?
Hey, bud.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Everything going well with you?
Going just peachy.
You got everything up and running?
Yep.
You got the 99.7 up and running?
Yes.
Yeah. How about the apps? We're on all the applications?
All the apps,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook.
Yeah? Okay, all of that. We're all up
that
and
stuff.
running.
And you're on the radio.
What's the title of the show today?
Let me read it again.
Yeah. What is Jackson titles the show every day. He always asks me what the title should be, and I always give him a nasty look because it's like seconds before we go on the air. And
It's not seconds, it's minutes.
Uh-huh.
Mary Jane, the census, drills, and the Olympics, all high priorities on the Murphy Show.
Mary Jane, the census, the Olympics, and drills, all high. Yeah, no, what? That's fair because all of those 4 topics will be addressed on this radio show today.
That's the way to go, Brother Jackson.
There you go. I mean,
Trying
you're
to be punny.
You're hitting the high points, and you're being pretty punny. Matt, I heard Jackson say last week that he loves yo-yos, which, once again, this takes me back to my aside. I think, Ken, that might be why he likes us so much.
Yeah. He's working with a couple of yo-yos.
That's right. Couple
Vintage yo-yos.
Yo-yos. Vintage yo-yos. Couple of yeehaws. And that's what we do. Ken Weaver lifts you up, and I bring you back down. Weaver gets you up, and I throw you back to the ground. That's the way we roll. And if Weaver ever doesn't pick you up, there you are, just laying on the ground. Anyway, I heard Jackson say last week that he loves yo-yos, so I sent some yo-yo balls made by the company I work for. Jackson gets first pick. Everyone else can fight over the rest. Enjoy. Kathy. So I'm going to show you, and then you can, Jackson, you can come in here, and these are yo-yo balls.
Okay.
So it is.
They got strings on them?
They do. I mean, I think it. Well, yeah. It retracts. So here you go.
Let's not move that shoulder a bunch.
No. I'm using the right one. Or the proper one, I should say, which is the right one. Oh, ages 4 and up, so you just made it. That's good. It always comes back to you. You can do loop. It says you can do loop-de-loops.
The loop-de-loop.
You can do around the world.
Yeah.
Shows you the best way to attach it to your finger. You can do tons of awesome tricks. So it's a yo-yo, but it's kind of a ball-shaped yo-yo.
This is the perfect thing to do while Matt's talking.
Distract you?
Yes.
Keep you amused while I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm just in the background.
Just yapping.
I'm just Charlie Brown school teacher back here, man.
Except at 5:35. Very attentive listening at 5:35.
Yeah, because there's a competition going on.
Because I got to win. I got a good one today for you.
Did you win yesterday?
No, Ken Weaver won.
Ken Weaver was the big
No,
winner.
Matt.
No, I won. That's right. I think I got a little sympathy vote. What did I do yesterday that won me the?
You did the personal pleasure device.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did the WNBA. It was a cheap shot taken by me, but it turned out to be a slam dunk.
Ba-doom-ba.
Hello. Yep. There
Yes,
you go.
sir.
And did you see? And I'll give credit where due. Clay Travis did an interview. This was the Dildo Brigade, the Dildo Gang, and I probably shouldn't have said that way. My apologies. It got ahead of me. Y'all know what's happening with the WNBA, right? And they're throwing the things on the courts and whatever. Those people, and they call themselves that, and I just threw it out there without thinking. It is a coordinate. This was not like a one-off. This was not like a guy that just did it and then now other people are doing it. They have coordinated their effort, and they're speaking to, political correctness and wokeism and whatever. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to their mission statement, but I'm telling you that expect to see more of this at WNBA games, which can only improve attendance, right? I feel like. I mean, I wouldn't go to a WNBA game, but if there was,
You wouldn't go to a WNBA game? I'd do it.
Would you now?
Man, I'd watch it.
Well, you know what I almost said, Ken? I almost said, no, Ken, I don't like crowds. But then I realized, well, they don't have crowds. So.
They're getting there, man. They're getting there.
Yeah. All right, see, the problem is I'm not a hoop fan.
You're not a basketball.
I'm just not that much.
Not even college? Well, Georgia's terrible.
You know what I'm a fan of? I'm a fan of gambling. So I'm a fan of putting $20 into a damn pool and filling out a form and then watching as my hopes and dreams get dashed because I put absolutely zero effort into my bracket.
What was March Madness like when you were on 12-3 when those games were on?
What, watching them?
Yeah, would you watch them in there?
I would put it on. Yeah, I'd put it on.
I watched the Olympics in there with you last year. You remember that?
Oh, I do.
The USA men's game.
We barely knew each other. It's really where we formed our strong bond.
You know why? Because we lost our signal over there, and you had it.
You had nothing else.
I had nowhere else to turn.
I was the only port in a storm for Jackson Williams
to watch the end of that game. Great game.
What was the game? I forget.
It was the USA semifinals. I believe it was against France. USA went down about 10, 12 points and came all the way back. Great game.
I remember that.
That was last year, right?
Yeah. You were still on middays.
Olympics in the old and so we have Olympics on the show, not just this mention, but Donald Trump has now officially taken over the Olympics from stupid Gavin Newsom in California, thank goodness, and says that there will be no dudes competing in female sports at our Olympic Games in 2026. And how about the Democrats thought they pulled one over in 2020 on Donald Trump with the election, but now he gets so many good things. He gets the 250th birthday of the United States of America now. He gets the 2026 or 20, that's right, 2026. Wait a minute. Is it 20? It's 2028, I guess.
Wow. Yeah.
Were the Olympics last year? I'm very confused.
Yes, the Olympics were last year. We just had this conversation last year. The Olympics.
Like 30 seconds ago, we just had this
Olympic
conversation.
Basketball was on last year.
Am I having a brain tumor right now?
Potentially.
I think I might be. Maybe a mild stroke. I don't know.
So they're always on
4 years
the even
apart.
years.
Right, and one even year it's the summer, and the other even year it's the winter.
Yes, so next year we get the winter games.
Uh-huh. And where will those be, young Jackson?
That's a good question.
Well, that's why I asked it.
Let's look it up.
Let's look that up. Let's see what Grok says about all of that while I will get the yo-yos out of the way.
2026 Winter Olympics be held.
I want to guess.
Okay.
I've got it.
I'm going to guess that it's somewhere in China.
No.
Okay.
You're not even close.
I'm going to guess it's somewhere in Europe.
Yes.
I'm going to guess that it's somewhere in Scandinavia.
No.
I'm going to guess that it's not somewhere in Scandinavia.
That's correct.
Uh-huh. I'm going to guess Sochi, Russia. No,
that's
that
not
was
Europe. Are you okay?
I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think there's something wrong with me. Where is it?
Milan, Italy.
Milan.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be a cool
nice.
place to have the Olympics.
They did the Olympic Games in Sochi, Russia. And,
that was 2014,
and it was bad. The one thing I remember about those Olympic Games is that the Ruskies couldn't finish the village, and they were killing dogs. You remember that story? Did you hear that story?
No, never heard the second one.
They had so many wild dogs. They have an overpopulation of homeless dogs, just wild dogs, and they were paying people in advance of the Olympic Games. This is a true story, and I don't take any pleasure in telling you the story, but it's a true story that they were paying people in advance instead of rehoming the dogs or attempting to home the dogs. There were so many of them. Anyway, that's very depressing, and I'm sorry I brought it up. Anyway, Milan, Italy is the location for the 2026 games, and then LA in 2028.
Yep.
And but DJT will still be Presidente of the United States of America when they come to the States in 2028, and that's a good thing.
His last summer, correct?
Yeah, his last summer. Elections will be held later on that November. Okay, so a lot to get into, to include the gubernatorial race. We've been talking about that quite a bit this week. Obviously, we had Marsha Blackburn. You know, it's something to be said that Marsha Blackburn is the clear front runner in the gubernatorial race, and nobody's talking about her. Now, I'm not saying this out of any sense of jealousy. We've had John Rose on the show in the past, but Marsha is so... The word that came to mind was stale, and I think that's unfair. I don't want this to come off as anti-Marsha. She is just so well prepared in her responses to questions. Some would even say plastic almost in her response. And I'm not knocking her as a person. I like her as a person. I'm just telling you that there is very much a political speak to the manner in which she responds to questions. Plus, I mean, we only had her for about 12 or 14 minutes on the show earlier this week. John Rose made an appearance on the Chris Hand show earlier this week and called into Dan Mandis' show this morning. And maybe I'm a little jelly. I don't know. Because I'm not getting any love this week from John Rose. I'm sure I could get some if I wanted some. But we have a couple of clips from Nashville's Morning News this morning where Dan was talking to Congressman John Rose, who called into the show. One thing I think I'm going to speak to it, and if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I don't have a lot to say about it, and that is his marriage to Chelsea, his wife of 15 years. I think that there are some people that are trying to make this into something that is dirty or unseemly, and I'm not going there. I'm not going to judge the love of that couple because I've met both of them. I've sat down with both of them. I've talked to Chelsea. I've talked to John, and I think that their relationship is as solid, it seems to me, as what I have seen, and I think it's an untoward attack point, frankly. But we will allow you to hear John's response to the question asked because some are attacking it. And it kind of started from a public standpoint on this radio show yesterday when we had the guy call up about the groomer. He called John Rose a groomer, is what he called him. So we will address that and put it to bed, and then we'll talk about medical marijuana a little bit. We'll take your telephone calls all afternoon long, 615-737-9986. Hopefully we'll get to 7 o'clock if I don't fall out first. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. So, gentlemen, if you feel, well, off your game, if you don't feel like going to the gym anymore, you used to go twice a week or, multiple times a week and you're not going anymore, or, you used to get after it when it came to yard work and you're just not feeling it anymore, or perhaps your lack of motivation, energy, and drive has manifested itself in the bedroom. If that is the case, there are solutions for you. All three of these things can be a result of testosterone losses in the body that are natural, but let's get back to normal, men, with a visit to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. They can sit down with you and talk with you about what's going on in your life, what's going on in your body. They'll take a little blood. They'll figure it out. You'll get answers during your initial appointment, which is quite nice. Their qualified urologist, professional and discreet, will get to the bottom of your situation, your individual situation, and then give you a treatment for success. Let's not trust our health to some online website or someone that we've never talked to or seen in our lives. Let's trust it with the local solution, Tennessee Men's Clinic. Call 615-208-9090, 208-9090, or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
We're hearing from the parents of one of the 4 murdered family members in Lake County, and you'll hear from those family members, too, coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm going to try something that could go viral or might cost me my job.
Okay.
All right. Very excited. Y'all tune in to the Super Text, or not the Super Text line. Y'all tune in to the Super Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Because I'm going to try something that could cost me my job or it might be the coolest thing ever.
Aim it at the TV. That's already broken.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Can't get there.
That's close.
That was close. That was close. Okay, 615-737-9986.
Almost.
All right, ready? Ready? This is what I'm going to try to do. Y'all, you watching on the Super Talk TV? Right. How'd that go? That look good? That look fun?
That looked like 3D.
That look fun?
That looks like...
Scary?
That looked like fun.
You know, I'm on the radio tomorrow. I feel like I have tomorrow off because I'm going out of town tomorrow.
Where are you going?
I'm headed over to I'm going on a financial I'm going to a financial investment symposium.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to, Ken.
All right.
I'm going to an investment symposium.
Okay.
In Tunica, Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm doing. All right. So I don't know why there's someone on the air. Did you know you put that person on the air? That person, whoever is on line 11 is currently on the air, so they should not say anything. I'm gonna put them on hold just to prevent all that. You know what we should probably do? I should reset what? Oh, and let Ken Weaver do the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Bah!
It is 3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Well, we're hearing from the parents of one of the 4 murdered family members in Lake County for the first time. Channel 4 says 21-year-old Matthew Wilson's parents were pleased today when, during the arraignment for the accused killer, Austin Drummond, the district attorney stated they intend to seek the death penalty.
It's a whole family gone. You know? Yeah. It's unbelievable. So we're going to be here every chance we get. We're going to be right here for our son because he cannot be here. They love their daughter.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, they say their son's baby daughter, Weslyn, is doing fine physically, remains in state custody for now. Drummond's next hearing is set for August 14th. About 100 miles east of Nashville, charges have been filed against the boyfriend of a woman whose body was found in a burning refrigerator on the side of the road in Overton County. Edward Randolph faces first-degree murder and abuse of corpse charges. His girlfriend's body, 47-year-old Hope Parrott, found inside that refrigerator July 31st. Investigators claim Randolph killed Parrott, transported her body in the refrigerator, set it on the side of the road, then set it on fire. He was booked into the Overton County Jail on a $50 million bond. And a South Nashville restaurant has been padlocked and boarded up because police say it's been deemed a public nuisance. Channel 4's Jordan James was on the scene there at 404 Bar and Grill.
Multiple officers are now inside of that business removing evidence. As you can see right now, that officer has a TV and is in the process of loading it in the back of a U-Haul. The site that you see comes after over 5 years of crimes being reported connected to the business, such as assaults and shootings. Metro Police say they have been called out more than 120 times, which has really drained their resources.
So police said they recovered at least 15 gambling devices, also body armor. The owners have a hearing next week, so the 404 Bar and Grill is going to stay closed at least until then. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, still got an accident blocking the right lane, 65 southbound, right before 24. That's 24 north. That's going to be exit 88. And in Madison, a disabled vehicle, Bradley Parkway, northbound at Ellington Parkway. And then the right lane blocked by a crash, 65 southbound in Madison at Bradley Parkway, Ellington Parkway, exit 90AB. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy. When it comes to large home repairs, who do you call? Who do you trust? Well, I'm telling you that you can trust the team at USS. They've been doing it for a long time now, since 1994. That's a lot of years. If my math's correct, over 31 years and counting of doing the job the right way. Foundation repair, waterproofing, and concrete leveling. Secondarily, you don't have to trust me. You can trust 30,000 satisfied residential customers. That's how many customers that USS has treated over the last 30-plus years, and they've satisfied every single one of them. They have a nearly 100% satisfaction rating for good reason, because they do the job the right way the first time. They don't overcharge you, and they don't sell you on something that you don't need. You need peace of mind when it comes to foundation, waterproofing issues in your home. If you've noticed the telltale signs and you don't know who to call, I'm telling you to call USS, United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or USSTN.com. Folks, it's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I was out and about down Leapers Forkway earlier today, and I was talking to one of our fine advertisers that I'll tell you about in just a little bit, and he was telling me about an upper neck issue that he had and has had since his days in the military, and I recommended he go see Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Obviously, I talk about them on the radio, and I believe in the way that they do their business, but I also talk them up out and about because they're so good at what they do. The last thing you should consider is having needles in your back or in your neck. The last thing, I say the last thing, that's maybe the second to last thing. The last thing you should consider is having surgery when the possibility exists you're going to have to go back in there again. What you need is spinal decompression technology from the Wellness Institute of Nashville. It's why they have the Big Daddy Trump special to begin with. $12, your comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment for $12. That is an incentive to get you to come in and see what's possible in the modern era at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Non-surgical spinal decompression can be a game changer and truly a lifesaver. Call them today at 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or online at painisbad.com, painisbad.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jason writes in and says, man, the new guy is always out. He was just on 2 weeks vacation a month ago. Talking about me. Jason, smart mouth on that one. Talking about me. Yeah, so no, I am not going on. I'm here tomorrow. I do have to leave a little bit early because I have to get to a very important financial/investment symposium.
You going to have to dress up for it?
I will be dressed appropriately.
Yes, sir.
If that's what you mean, Ken. It's a big deal. A lot of muckety mucks.
What kind of seminars are you going to be attending?
There's going to be a lot of them. There's a schedule, and I don't know. I've got to sign up for them. There might be name badges involved. I don't know.
What about refreshments?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Refreshments will be served at the investment symposium.
That's great.
You got to keep folks lubed up. You got to get ready for.
Okay.
You got to get ready for the sales pitch.
That's right.
You know. Have y'all ever been a part of one of those? Jackson, I seriously doubt that you're a part of this conversation because you're too young. Have you ever fallen into one of those like sales pitches where they're trying to sell you on a timeshare or something like that?
No. I had a rather embarrassing thing happen on social media though.
What happened, Ken?
Well, it wasn't really social media. I got this text that Amazon was offering this really big, this big gift certificate.
I
thought, okay.
And you thought, well, hey, let's go.
I mean, they weren't asking me for personal information, but let's just say by the time I figured out what was going on, I started getting questions from every snake doctor west of the Mississippi River about every 5 minutes.
That's no good.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of it. I've had people in my circle that have said that they've been a part of it, and they're like, you don't understand what they mean by hard sell until you get into one of these. It's one of those, hey, we'll give you a free trip to the beach. All you have to do is come to a 2-hour session, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And free trip for the weekend. Well, they're going to hard sell your butt for that 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they try to corner folks.
I remember somebody tried to get me to get into one of those things by saying, it practically sells itself. And I said, well, if it can hop out there in that little S10 pickup and run around and sell itself, sign me up.
Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
Yeah, I bet they didn't. Well, this is an investment symposium. Despite what many of you on the super text line are currently saying, Financial Investment Symposium, people.
It's a symposium.
That's right, which is different than a conference. Very muckety muck. Highbrow. You got to keep your pinky finger up at a symposium, unlike a conference. All right, so that said, we'll get to your calls momentarily. 41 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Is Donald Trump speaking at 4:30? Will you fact-check that, Jackson, and or Mr. Ken Weaver? I do not know if that is the case. I do know this, that Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin, or had one of his proxies meeting with Vladimir Putin regarding the upcoming deadline to a ceasefire. Donald Trump did say after speaking with Putin that he was, quote, very disappointed in the conversation, and it's ultimately going to be up to him. Donald Trump has drawn this line in the sand. He wants the fighting to stop. He wants the killing to stop. And many people felt like he was taking the side of Putin, which was not the case. He was taking an arbiter's position, where if you believe that you can broker a peace deal, you want to come at that fairly from both sides, or at least from a perception standpoint, you want to seem to come at that fairly from both sides. Well, sadly, it has come to Donald Trump's notice that one side seems to want peace and the other side doesn't seem to want peace, and so he's kind of angling toward that side, and that would be the Russian side of things. We'll give you an update on that. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And if Donald Trump speaks later on this afternoon, we'll try to jip that live. That is Join in Progress. Let's talk to Larry real quick before we get to our clip from John Rose from earlier today. Hello, Larry.
Hello.
Hey, Larry. Larry. Hello. Well.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hey. Listen on the phone. Listen on the phone and not on the radio, Larry. If that might help you out.
All right. How about now?
You sound great.
I was going to tell you the best place to go would be Southland for your financial investments.
Yes, sir.
That's over in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Okay. Southland.
And they got the best crab legs you'll ever eat.
Ooh.
All you can eat. for like $40.
I can eat a lot.
You know, Matt, that's not sounding like a symposium, but I've been to a place that has a nice buffet.
Yeah, well, I mean, some symposiums have buffets. Jackson, what are you talking about? Larry, I like the way you're thinking, friend, and you're my kind of guy when it comes to symposiums. I'll take that under advisement.
You know, Matt, I'm starting to think you're not going to a symposium at all.
It certainly has to do with investments and financial issues.
Also, I have the president's public schedule pulled up.
And what do you got?
He's signing an executive order at 4 p.m. He did meet with the media at 4:30 yesterday. So
Okay,
I do not have a media availability on his public calendar.
We will thank you very much, Jackson. We'll keep it up to date and see what's going on in that regard. All right, John Rose was on Nashville's Morning News earlier today. He was on with Chris Hand earlier in the week. We had Marsha Blackburn on as well. Those are the two leading candidates for the governor's race, which really has kicked off now that we are less than a year from the primaries. It has, kind of kicked off more in earnest. It will really get kicking in 2026. Now, as I told you yesterday, as I told you day before yesterday, and I will regurgitate this until you're tired of hearing it. Do not pick a candidate until 2026. The currency that you have as we, the people of the state of Tennessee, is your vote. And you don't want to give that away too early. Make these folks earn it. And let this shake itself out. Now, all of that to say there's some polling coming out. You guys know how I feel about polls that indicates that there is a strong front runner in this race. If you believe this poll, I mean, it's almost one person and all the also-rans, frankly. I don't know that I buy into this poll, but maybe. I mean, name ID means something, I suppose. But we got this thing cranked up in earnest, and John Rose was on the Dan Mandis show, the Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis, I should say, earlier today. Give me, let's put this one to bed. This is the longer cut. There are some that are attempting to make aspects of Congressman John Rose's personal life a part of this political campaign. We had a caller yesterday that inflamed this conversation, referring to John Rose in derogatory terms because of the age difference between John and his wife, Chelsea. I've met John on a number of occasions, and on several of those occasions, he's been with his wife, Chelsea. I can tell you that by everything that I have seen from a public perspective, they love one another very much. They have been together for now going on 15 years and have two lovely children together. Yes, when they first met, well, you don't need me to tell you the story. Let John tell you the story. Here's John Rose from this morning discussing his marriage of 15 years to his wife, Chelsea, on Nashville's Morning News.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'll take a point of personal privilege, if I might, and wish Chelsea a happy birthday. This is her birthday, and so
Nice.
Happy birthday, Chelsea, and thank you for letting me do that. I am 24 years older than Chelsea, same age difference, incidentally, between Melania and President Trump. And we have a wonderful marriage. We've been married almost 15 years, coming up on 15 years of marriage, and we've got two wonderful sons, Guy and Sam, and just could not be more blessed in the relationship that we have. She is my rock and my secret weapon and my supporter, and I would just tell all of your listeners, if you elect me to be governor, it's a 2-for-1 deal. And actually the free piece that you get with this, the free addition you get with this is Chelsea, and it's better than the thing that you're buying if you hire me as governor. So, and people will see that over the coming year, and I think those who've met Chelsea already understand that. You know, years ago, I was in FFA, Future Farmers of America, and had a great experience there. And I back up to say this, and I may be using too much time, but after I was out of FFA, I continued to support the FFA organization financially and as a volunteer. And so we fast forward to along about 2007, and in a volunteer capacity is first where I met and became aware of Chelsea. She was a standout star in the FFA. from the Eagleville chapter over in Rutherford County. And so I became aware of her like I've met literally hundreds, thousands of FFA members through the years. Fast forward 2 or 3 years, and I get a call, an interesting call one day. And so in my role as a volunteer, I didn't have a tremendous amount of contact with her. I just was aware of who she was and saw how she was progressing in the FFA. We didn't have a relationship. We were not close. We didn't spend tremendous time together other than at events where I would see her in her role as an FFA member and in whatever official role I might have been in or volunteer role. But there came a day when I got a call from Chelsea, and she said, I'm interested in you, and I would like to date you. So she asked for that date, and
Wow.
I turned her down.
Atta girl.
That has never happened to me, like, ever.
And I was to say the least, taken aback, flabbergasted, maybe a better word, by that. And you should have her on sometime. She'll tell you the story, but from her perspective. But I told her that's a really bad idea. There's a big age difference between us, and that wouldn't be a good situation. And I persisted in that for months. But she was very persistent, and I'll spare all the details. But ultimately, I said, well, what do your parents think about this? And she said, well, they've recommended against it. But they've ultimately told me we want you to be happy, and so we will support you in whatever you choose to do. And so I said, well, I'd like to meet your parents. And so we arranged for that to happen, and I met her parents, and they expressed the similar views I had about maybe this not being a good idea. But Chelsea was very persistent, and so they said, but we want our daughter to be happy, and we'll support what she decides to do. Ultimately, we went out on a date, and it was, I guess, easy to fall in love with Chelsea at that time, and we did, and we had a very short engagement and got married in January of 2011. So coming up on our 15th anniversary, and never regretted a moment of that. There is a big age difference, but she's a very mature young lady, and could not be prouder of her, and certainly can't be any happier with the children that we've got, the great sons that we've got, that are going to be the 9th generation of my family to hopefully live here in Tennessee and farm the same farm that my ancestors came here and started in 1790.
So, asked and answered this morning on Nashville's Morning News. Good for Dan Mandis for asking the question first and foremost. That is not a comfortable question to ask. And even someone like myself who, I'm known to be bombastic or whatever, I would be uncomfortable asking that question. And Dan, I bet. But if it is a question on the minds of any of the voters of the state of Tennessee, then it's one that needs to be asked. Secondarily, John Rose seemed completely at comfort telling that story and invited further questioning with his wife, Chelsea. And I'm certain that over the course of the next year during the gubernatorial campaign, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Chelsea about these types of things. I say kudos to Rose. I say kudos to Chelsea. The most honest thing we heard, though, I will say this as an aside. I don't know if you guys heard it, but that was about a 4-minute, that was a fairly lengthy clip, about a 4-minute clip there, Jackson?
About 4.5.
In that 4 minutes, what's the most honest thing you heard? Dan Mandis saying he's never been asked out on a date. That's the most honest thing you heard was Mandis going, I never got asked out. Well, that's probably true, Dan.
I don't know about that. I think Brother Dan was pursued by Miss Amy.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, let me tell you this. Dan Mandis, as most of us are, we are blessed beyond measure with our significant others.
Oh.
We are blessed beyond measure.
I would be shirtless without mine, only not living in a house.
In a ditch somewhere, in a culvert.
Probably.
And I'd be... Just take a look at Jackson for a moment, Ken.
Hey, Brother Jackson.
Yeah,
What's up, Brother Weaver?
Look at Jackson. That's me. That's me. Single life right there.
Brother Jackson's a handsome young man.
He
Thank
is.
you, Brother
and
Weaver.
let me tell you something. Jackson's living the life, too. I hear about these shenanigans that he gets into away from the radio. He's living the life.
We're having fun.
There was a reason why Jackson was very soft-spoken the first couple of days of this week.
It was just
I happen
Monday.
to know. Anyway, so I think the question is asked and answered. And I am not one to tell someone that an age gap is untoward or, I mean, who am I to say? Who am I to say? I'm not here to say that. John Rose has been accused of doing absolutely nothing wrong. John nor Chelsea have done anything wrong, and they seem to have a loving relationship that is long-lasting. And my goodness gracious, couldn't we all ask for the same in our lives and in our families? So I say kudos to them. Glad it was asked. Glad it was answered. I felt the need to play that on the show because we had people on the show yesterday kind of throwing slings and arrows his way, accusing him of being certain things. Wanted to follow up on that. It's 54 after the hour on Super Talk. Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Let's talk with Dr. Brian McLaughlin. Let me encourage you, friends. If you don't sleep well at night, if you find yourself waking up throughout the course of the night, might you have sleep apnea? Don't answer too quickly. If you think, well, Murphy, I don't have sleep apnea. Do you know? Are you sure? Because I didn't think I had sleep apnea. I was encouraged by Dr. Stephen Pest to take the sleep test. I did take a sleep test, and lo and behold, I'm one of the 20 or so % of men that have sleep apnea that does not snore in a considerable fashion. Well, I now have an FDA-approved oral device that goes into the mouth. You put it in when you go to sleep. You don't really notice it after a night or two, and you sleep better. You sleep fully. You wake up more energized as a result of the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. It is a game changer, and the fact that it's in most insurance plans in the state of Tennessee for the majority of you, it is very affordable. Let's get in contact with the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center today by going to TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com for more information. I encourage you to go there. Murfreesboro and Brentwood, tell them that I sent you to the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. When you go to Genesis Diamonds, the people are so pleasurable to deal with. They're not trying to sell you on anything. They don't work on commission. So the pleasant experience starts from the moment you walk through the door. And the incredible selection of diamonds is just something to see. Friends, they have every diamond graded by the world's most prestigious gem labs. The way they look at it, it goes beyond the 4 C's of diamond buying to guarantee that it's not just acceptable in their store, it's extraordinary at Genesis Diamonds. The experts at Genesis are passionate about diamonds, and they will show you all of the inside tips and tricks of the trade to help you maximize your buying experience and your value. You're not going to get this level of quality or expertise at any other store, certainly not one of the big corporate chain stores. Genesis is your source for hand-picked GIA-certified diamonds, and they have the guaranteed best stock and the best prices around as well. Genesis Diamonds, with no compromises. You can have that anniversary, that birthday, that just because from Genesis Diamonds. 2 locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Till Murphy sent you to Genesis.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Scattered showers, some of them heavy, might even have some thunder in them, mainly south and rather along and south of I-40. The most activity going to be west of 65, south and along I-40. Dixon, got a couple of areas of very heavy rainfall around you there. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Lake County, the state says it will seek the death penalty for the man accused of killing a family of 4 last week. 28-year-old Austin Drummond appearing in court via video this morning. The judge entered a not guilty plea on 4 counts of first-degree murder on Drummond's behalf, appointed him an attorney. With the victims' families in the courtroom, the judge revealed one by one that the 4 victims had been shot to death. He was denied bond. His next court hearing is in 7 days. A horrifying discovery about 100 miles east of Nashville, where Edward Randolph allegedly killed his girlfriend, 47-year-old Hope Parrott, then transported the body in a refrigerator, dumped it on the side of the road, and set it on fire. That was discovered July 31st. A judge ordering Randolph held on a $50 million bond. Here in Nashville, Metro police officers say they've been called too many times to a business in South Nashville. Channel 4's Jordan James at the 404 Bar and Grill, which has been deemed a public nuisance by a judge and ordered shut down.
A judge ruled for this to happen after an investigation by Metro Police revealed that over the last 5 years, they had been dispatched to the bar more than 120 times for crimes like shootings, stabbings, and drug-related offenses. Authorities say it was draining their resources. During today's operations, 15 illegal gambling machines and body armor was found that was likely worn by security who were operating without a license.
Yeah, the bar also under investigation for allegedly serving minors. The investigation's ongoing. No criminal charges filed at this time. It'll stay closed until at least next week when the owners get a hearing. And President Trump has signed an executive order opening the door for you to put your money in higher-risk private equity and cryptocurrency investments through 401k accounts. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
This executive order will allow 401k investors to access alternative assets, including cryptocurrencies, private equity, and real estate. This is just the president's latest move towards embracing digital assets, and it would be a big boost to the sector.
And a study conducted by internet watchdog Common Sense Media finds more than 70% of teenagers are turning to AI chatbots for companionship. Separately, says ABC's Jim Ryan, research finds kids are also seeking out advice from chatbots.
And sometimes with terrifying results. Researchers posing as 13-year-olds say they were able to coax advice on substance abuse, weight loss, and self-harm out of ChatGPT. Even the people behind that chatbot are concerned.
There's young people who just say, like, I can't make any decision in my life without telling ChatGPT everything that's going on.
At a conference sponsored by the Federal Reserve, Sam Altman, co-founder of ChatGPT parent OpenAI, acknowledged,
that feels really bad to me.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. We've got two crashes on 65 southbound north of downtown. One is right before I-24. The other one is just after Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway, exit 90A and B. And then we've got a crash 40 eastbound past Fessler's Lane. It's blocking the right lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Here we are. Here we go. Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I appreciate you being a part of the show today. Thank you so much. Whatever time you're able to give us, we're certainly appreciative. Find us online at Super Talk 99.7 WTN, all the various platforms. You can find us at 99.7 WTN on the intraweb. And you can find where we go from there. You know, we are on all kind of apps, Spotify and iHeart. Tune in. You can also find us on our own app. Download Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Then, of course, we are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. on the television side of things. It's episode 859 of our proceedings today.
You broke the TV again.
It was not me. That was not me.
It looks worse.
Let me tell you something. That's I don't like throwing people under the bus. Well, I like throwing people under the bus as much as the next guy. That was Mason Fleming that did that.
What Brother Mason do that?
He poked the TV. So Joan reportedly broke the TV. I'm on record as saying
Dan Mandis broke the TV.
I believe that Dan Mandis did it. And he forced poor Joan Jones to take the fall for fear of reprisal. That's what I feel like happened. Dan knew very well that Joan Jones is far too crucial to the success of this radio station to be lost for a television. Perhaps he did not feel the same about himself. And therefore, it is my theory, and my theory alone, that Dan Mandis forced poor Joan Jones into taking the fall for the broken television that you can see on Supertalk 99.7 WTN's television side, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble.
I think he was just trying to intimidate the new guy, Sam.
Maybe. I don't know. Sam doesn't look to be intimidatable. To me, do you know much about Sam?
Seems like a nice fellow.
Seems like a great guy. Great guy. I mean, nothing like you, Jackson. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I'm not a good guy.
You're my kind of guy. My kind of guy.
Which is?
There's one good guy on this radio show.
It's Brother Weaver.
His name is Ken Weaver. That's right. So Mason came in, producer of the illustrious Chris Hand show, and he poked the already broken television and broke it further. So there's a lot of that going on until we get the television repaired. Anyway, we've got a lot going on this radio show as well. We'll talk Olympics coming up in just a few moments. We'll talk weed coming up in just a minute or two. Afton Bain is declaring herself the front runner in the 7th Congressional District, which is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I'll give her credit. And she sings on her latest Instagram. She calls it, Wrangling time? But she drives a Jeep Wrangler. And so she does these videos, Ken, inside of her Jeep, and she's calling them Wrangling time.
Wrangling.
With Afton Bain. Wrangling time with Afton Bain. We will share that with you because it's a hoot. Coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk census, Olympics, and all those things. Your telephone call is obviously important, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. And I'm defending my honor in as much as I'm going on an investment symposium over the weekend, and many of you are suggesting that I'm going to some sort of house of ill repute, like a gambling house of some sort. How dare you? How dare you people, I say. Eddie's next up. Hey, Eddie, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Murphy. Great. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good to listen to you. And normally we agree, but I think you might be putting your arts degree to a little bit of use when you mentioned that John Rose's ordeal and everybody trying to stir up and mud over nothing. Have you looked into it at all?
Yes.
You have? Did you read the articles from back then and what was said? It's all rumor and gossip, but it's one of those deals that where there's smoke, there's fire. She was young. You know, even when he's given the answer earlier and when he starts going in and he jumps his years around. You know, he wants to talk about, well, I saw her here and then she was in the background and then 2 or 3 years later, well, was it 2 or 3 or 1 or 2, you know? Everything.
Well, Eddie, do you know?
Yeah. No, of course not. Not at all. She was young when they met.
Yeah, sure.
And that relationship seems like it followed. I think, and I don't know this for sure, I know she went to Tennessee Tech. I think he graduated from there, where he runs a scholarship fund, or he did then. So when she gets out of high school and she goes on to Tennessee Tech, where, like I said, I think that's where he graduated from, and then she wins the scholarship award that was in his parents' name.
Well, Eddie.
I know.
No, don't I know? Just
okay,
Eddie. So just say what you know. You don't have to say I think, or I mean, you've obviously done the research. Did John Rose go to Tennessee Tech or not?
Oh, that part I really can't remember. I think that's where he graduated from. I know that's where he was running his scholarship fund from.
Okay.
So it was just another connection with her coming right out of high school and going to Tennessee Tech. There's connections. There's dots. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it matters.
What do you mean that's all you're saying? What are you saying?
That there's enough smoke to be concerned.
What are you saying? What smoke? What are you accusing John Rose of?
Chasing after a 16, 17-year-old high school girl when the man was 45?
Mm-hmm.
That's the concern.
She was 21 when he was 45.
No, she was in high school when they were doing those FFA.
They're 24 years apart. She was 21. I'm not defending him. You got to get your facts straight if you're going to.
I do.
No, you don't. She was 21 when he was 45, man.
They met. It's documented in Gatlinburg.
Right, when she was 17 and he was 41.
The line in his answer when he says Eagle, whatever it is, she was part of the Eagle something FFA. That was her high school.
Okay, so Eddie.
She was in high school. He was a leader in the FFA, and that was
right when she was 17.
When they first began interacting,
they met when she was 17 and he was 41.
Okay.
I don't think that's in dispute.
Okay. I mean,
he said it.
Just a second ago, you were saying 21.
No, you said he was 45 when they met. They were 45 when they got married, and she was 21 at that age.
Okay. 17 and 41, still that's too far. I mean,
How old are you?
I'm a dad. I've got a daughter who turned 18 today.
No. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Okay. How much age difference is between you and your wife?
2 years.
2 years. All right. What do you consider to be an acceptable age range between a husband and wife?
I have an 18-year-old daughter. That's too far.
Okay.
I mean, that's part. Maybe that's why it bothers me the way that it does. I mean, and it's just my. I mean,
nobody's telling you that. Nobody's saying that it doesn't have to. I mean, no one is suggesting that it can't bother you. I'm sure that it will bother some people.
And
but beyond that, I don't understand what the point is. They met when she was 17 and he was 41. They were married when she was 21 and he was 45. They've been married for 15 years and have 2 children and seem to love one another very, very much.
And that is all very wonderful.
Then what is your problem? Then what is your problem?
It was the quick dismissal and acceptance while he's giving that long answer. The long rehearsed, polished, poly-speak answer that I don't buy any of it. I mean, that's what he's going to say.
What don't you buy, Eddie? They've been married 15 years and have 2 children.
That after knowing her but not knowing her while she's in high school, while she goes to the same college he did, that while he gives her a scholarship, all of this is going on, and then she just calls him up out of the blue when she's 21 one day.
You think when she was 18, you think when she was 18 and he was 42, there might have been a little kissy going on?
I think so. Yes, I mean there had to that. Whatever you want to call it. And again, I honestly, it's not other than just I wouldn't immediately dismiss his rehearsed answer. I can't just. There's too much other smoke and fire out there that when you just dismiss it that way.
Eddie, I'm trying to be patient. What smoke and fire are you talking about?
Like I said, it doesn't matter, Matt. I really didn't call to argue with you.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying to understand what you're beating around the bush. You're not getting to the point. Get to the point. What is your point? What is your point?
I don't have one other than
that you don't like their age difference.
No, I don't like the answer to it. I think that's the only point that I could possibly even try to draw there.
Okay, so you don't like the fact that he met her when she was that young and that their age difference is what it is. I just want to make sure that I understand you. I don't want to cut you off, and I'm not trying to badger you. I just genuinely don't understand what you say when you say, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. What fire are you talking about?
I don't know. You're correct. Don't have a point.
I'm not here to defend John.
I feel like I've said everything that I know that I can say.
Well, okay. Listen. I want to part as friends. I don't want you to feel like I'm yelling at you. we all have different relationships. Our relationships are very. I mean, but
I don't have relationships with high school girls.
You did at one point, didn't you?
Not at 42 years old. I don't.
Well, I understand. Listen, I understand that, Eddie. But you can think it's weird, and you can not vote for John Rose for that reason. That's your right. I mean that's up to you.
Yeah, I mean you're correct. That's
You know?
why we.
I mean, this is America. I mean, this is America, man. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. But I appreciate you taking my call.
Look, listen, Eddie, I appreciate you. I mean, I appreciate you too. I'm a bulldog, and I get it, and I don't mean to sound like I'm jumping on you, Eddie. I just, I just don't understand what you mean. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, if you feel like maybe there was a little more of a relationship between 17 and 21, okay. John told the story that he told. He said I don't think his story has wavered. And yeah, I've seen the backstories, and yeah, I've seen the hit pieces. John Rose has had, as a congressman, hit pieces written on him about this subject. And I've read them. And all of them say the same thing, that they met when she was 17 and he was 41. That there was a gap in time between then and the time that they married at the age of 20. She was 21 and he was 45. And they've lived happily ever since. I fully understand. Let me be real clear with y'all. I fully understand that this skeeves some people out. Okay. And if that is a deciding factor in how you vote, so be it. People vote for different candidates for a lot of different reasons. I'm not here to defend John. What I am here to say is that it is a damn far cry from saying, this age gap's a little weird to me. That's one thing. It's another thing to totally jump to conclusions and call John Rose, like the caller did yesterday, call him a groomer. Well, there's zero evidence that that's true. And that's the type of language that I would want some evidence regarding before I would go there. That's all. 21 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to tell you about my wonderful, wonderful company that I love talking about, Stoultz Co. Stoultz Co. You can find them at STOLTZCO.com. They do all manner of pole barns, like barn dominiums. They do incredible event spaces. They do she sheds and man spaces. They can do anything that you can dream, frankly, at Stoultz Co. When you call Will and the team at Stoultz Co. and you get them on the job, they'll take care of business. If you want somewhere to hang out on the weekends, if you want to improve the value of your property, if you want a future home to retire in, let's get with Stoultz Co. and find out what's going on. 615-622-5992. 615-622-5992 or online at StoultzCo.com. Sit down with these guys, and if you can dream it, they can do it at Stoultz Co. Incredible opportunities for you are available at Stoultz Co. And go and see them online at StoultzCo, STOLTZCO.com. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. It's as simple as this. If you've got pests, bugs, roaches, spiders, whatever creeps or crawls around your home, they're going to take what's yours. They're going to eat what's yours. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's time to get with U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica Brister are so good at what they do. They come into your home monthly. I would encourage you to get monthly service from U.S. Pest, especially this time of year. You need it because the bugs are going to come in if you let them, whether it's outside, fleas and ticks, or inside the home. Let's get it done with U.S. Pest. It starts with a simple telephone call, 590-1260. That's 590-1260. U.S. Pest can handle all things bug, pest control, termite control, and crawl space service that you need. Online at uspest.com. That's uspest.com. Call the team that's simply the best. Call U.S. Pest. 590-1260. Tell them Murphy sent you.
Metro schools looking into an incident involving a 5-year-old autistic boy mistakenly put on a bus after school. We'll tell you about it at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Ken Weaver. A lot of conversation on the Super Text line surrounding John Rose, Congressman John Rose, and his marriage to his wife of 15 years, Chelsea. 2796 writes in, as much as the host on WWTN, jumped up and down about Epstein Island and the 17-year-old girl's, quote, harmed there, you've got a lot of nerve giving John Rose a pass for dating a 21-year-old that he met when she was 17 and he was 45. He was 41, she said. And I don't want to get caught up in the numbers, but you're screwing your numbers up. He deserves the hit pieces. I'm turning WYNN off again. So it was WTNN, then it was WYNN. You were a total bleep to that guy. You know what his point is? No, I really don't know what his point is. Where there's smoke, there's fire. John Rose, if you are disturbed, disgusted, put off, that's fine. I'm not giving anybody a pass. It is what it is. But I'm not prepared to condemn the guy as he has been honest about what happened. He met her when she was 17. He's 41. He was loath to date her. That's what John says. You can believe that or not. They got married when she was 21 and he was 45. That's a 24-year age difference. They've been married for 15 years and have 2 children. And by all accounts, and I've met Chelsea and John, they love one another very much. So I'm not giving him any sort of pass. And it's not up to me to give him a pass or not. It is what it is. There's no pass. You're the one that's going to give him a pass or not. You guys get to decide. You get to decide whether or not that's something that will bother you enough to keep you away from the polls. That's all. That's all. 5676 says a child is a child. A 17-year-old woman. Well, you know what? You know what's interesting? America has changed a lot. America has changed America has changed a tremendous amount over the last 100 years. But I understand what you're saying. And y'all are talking about a crime. What crime are you suggesting? 5676. It's one thing to say this is distasteful or I don't like it very much, but you're saying, oh, well, it's a crime. What crime? What? Once again, y'all judge it as you will. I mean, I'm gonna worry about the splinter in my eye and not judge these types of things because they seem to be in a very loving relationship. Courtney is next on the issue of John Rose. Hey, Courtney, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Great.
I am calling from a different perspective. I am a child of a couple who also has a 24-year age gap. And my dad was a successful doctor in my hometown and married my mother when she was 20. So I have experienced the criticism through my life. And I'm just here to say that that age gap has no bearing on the type of person my father is. I had a great childhood. They're still together 37 years later. So I just think it's ridiculous with no proof. I don't think love has an age necessarily. It sounds cliche. But based on my personal experience, I have no qualms about their relationship, and I wish people would just be a little more calm about it unless they have actual facts.
Well, I mean, you said that there was a what year age difference between your parents, Courtney?
24.
24, same years. What? How old was your mother when they were married?
She was 20. My dad was 44. I believe he was around 47 when I was born.
Wow.
I'm 34. So, yeah, I grew up in a small town with that, so I understand that people can jump to conclusions. And my parents knew each other before they started dating because it's a small town. People know each other. That doesn't mean they did anything wrong before they had a love interest in one another. So I'm just here to say that no bearing on someone's morals or personality or anything like that just because of an age difference. As long as his wife is loved, his children are loved, and that's all that matters, in my opinion.
That seems to be the case. Thank you for the call, Courtney. I'm sorry to rush you, but I got to get to the news. Many of you are saying that, well, it's the point that he was dating a 17-year-old. Look, I'm not here to tell you what's the truth and what's not the truth. Y'all can believe what you want to believe. What I just remind you that John Rose says he met her when she was 17. They did not date for several years after. That's what he said. Y'all can believe that or not, but what matters, it was a 41-year-old dating a 17-year-old. No, TB, I will not acknowledge it because he says it didn't happen. He says he met her when she was 17. You can believe him or not, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to acknowledge something that I don't know is true or not true. Acknowledge that he was 41 and he dated a 17-year-old. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't here and I don't know. He says it's not true. Chelsea says it's not true. Her parents say it's not true. I'm not ignoring anything, TB. I'm speaking directly to your question right now as you type. It is 32 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, reports say a 5-year-old student with autism was mistakenly placed on a bus by his teacher at Ida B. Wills Elementary School, despite arrangements for his mother to pick him up. The bus dropped the child off alone at a park near his home. He was later found by a school counselor. Channel 4 spoke to his grandmother, Rosalind Derrick, who is not happy.
When you make that transition, from your care to the school's care, that you have trust that, everything is going to be fine.
Metro Nashville Public Schools stated they are reviewing the incident, reinforcing dismissal protocols to prevent future occurrences. Accused killer Austin Drummond of being held without bond for the murders of 4 people in Lake County and abandonment of their baby last week. Drummond appeared via video for his arraignment this morning, where the judge announced one by one the victims were shot to death while their families were present in the courtroom. This is 21-year-old victim Matthew Wilson's father.
Matthew was a good father.
He was a good boy.
He was a good brother. He was a damn good son.
And they loved their baby.
Absolutely.
They loved their baby. The whole family loved each other.
Now, 7-month-old Westlyn said to still be in protective custody, but doing okay physically. The judge entered a not guilty plea on Drummond's behalf and appointed him an attorney. The state indicated during the arraignment it will seek the death penalty. Drummond's next court hearing is in 7 days. And right now in South Nashville, the 404 Bar and Grill is shut down after a judge deemed it a public nuisance. Metro Police say they've been called at least 120 times for drugs, shootings, and assaults over the past 5 years there.
It is our message to businesses in the community that we want you to be a part of this community and do so legally and build on the quality of life that every Nashvilleian deserves.
The bar also under investigation for allegedly serving minors. No criminal charges have been filed at this time. It's going to stay closed until at least next week when the owners get a hearing. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, a crash, two of them actually, on 65 southbound. We've got one right there at the Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway, exit 90AB. Then just south of there, we've got southbound at I-24 north. On I-440, we've got a crash reported by police. That's going to be eastbound right there at I-65. And then 440 westbound past I-65 in Berry Hill. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Summer's a great time to feel and look your best, whether it's by the pool, showing off those abs or that tan, or talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair during Advanced Hair's once-yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. There's absolutely no one in hair restoration that I would trust more than Advanced Hair. Take advantage of your summer schedule. Maybe it's a little more flexible than normal, and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. Go get details and schedule your free consultation today. I'll give you that website in just a moment. Go to 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR for more info. 629-348-HAIR or online at advancedhair.com. Check out the incredible before and afters. Take advantage of their best offer ever. It's advancedhair.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A lot of strong feelings about the topic of conversation that is before us. We will move on to medical marijuana. I have a lot more stronger. I have a much stronger feeling about the medical marijuana piece than I do this other thing. Let me hopefully explain to those of you out there in Aniana who might be listening with one ear, maybe not the other. I don't know what happened. I know that there's a loving couple that have been married for 15 years, that have 2 children, that say exactly what happened. They're on record as what happened. If that bothers you, that's fine. I mean, you're well within your right to feel whatever way you want to feel about it. And potentially, I'm on record as saying that this could have an impact in voting in this gubernatorial election. I've got no illusions otherwise. And, you know, TB, you're welcome to give me a call and express your opinion, but I just can't continue to read your diatribe. You seem very angry about all of this, and all I can tell you is that it is what it is. I mean, you can decide that they're lying to you all you want. That's fine. I get it. TB says, you don't get it. Being happily married doesn't mean anything at all in this equation. What? And, you know, yeah, that's fine. That's fine, TB. I hope that you find the person that you plan on voting for in the governor's race after all. Joe is next up. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hey, how you doing today, Matt?
Great, Joe.
Man, first a shout out to Jackson. I'm the one that I'm 2213 that sent that Play Him Go Vols the other day, Play Him Rocky Top, when he lost his three-peat.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part of that is, my grandmother married my grandpa, who was 26 years old when she was 14 years old, and had my mom. And my first uncle born after my mom, his name was Jackson Williams. So there's a 2-part thing. And she had 8 kids with the man, and all of them grew up to be successful, healthy. They were together for 50 years. And, I mean, it like you said, you covered it, and the young lady afterward covered it. That pretty much what I wanted to say is, if they're happy and it's a healthy relationship and there wasn't anything underhanded going on and the parents were involved in her decision-making and the approach to all of it that he required. I mean, it seemed like a very sincere – the clip you played with Dan Mandas seemed very sincere to me. I don't know the man. A lot of it would be like you meeting them in person and eye-to-eye, hand-to-hand, toe-to-toe, knowing what the relationship is. But I walked into where my wife worked at when I was 21 years old and asked her to marry me the first day I met her. And she was 33 years old, and we were married for 31 years. And there was no hanky-panky, no grooming or anything like that. I don't understand that. The other side of that coin is his comments about that on the Dan Mendes show that you played for us today seemed a lot more sincere than Marsha Blackburn's responses to all of your questions yesterday with Cameron. She's a career politician. I don't know that much about her, but I don't know. I don't know how that plays into. I don't see a whole lot has changed in the 30 or 40 years that Marsha Blackburn's been in office. That taxes are still way too high. Government still has way too much control. Leading up to the next thing that you're talking about with the medical marijuana or marijuana usage, there's way too much overreach in the government, and I don't understand why people are just twisted about this.
I just want to make sure, and Joe, thank you for the call. I just want to make sure that those that are angry at me for quote unquote defending John Rose, and I'm not ready to condemn him. I think that people that are on this toot that it is somehow sexually predatory, I am not willing to go there. I just am not, based on the words of John Rose and Chelsea Rose and her parents. I mean, you can find it weird, you can find it unseemly and all of those things, but to leap to, oh, it's Jeffrey Epstein, what are you talking about? It's ridiculous. Now, for those that are think that I'm defending that, I'm not defending anything. I'm presenting it as it is. Y'all wait, because I'm going to go after John Rose regarding his response to medical marijuana, because I think it's absurd. And I like John a lot. I think John has done good things for his congressional district. But something that John said, I mean, this morning about medical marijuana set me off. More on that coming up in just a second. Hey, here's another John to talk about John. Hey, John.
Hey, I just calling in, first-time caller, and I wanted to say I think I agree with you, but I would also say that there's a cultural difference, I think, here in this country where people just generally think that kind of age gap is odd. But I think the bigger point, which you might be about to speak on, was the fact that he mentioned if there was a bill that Tennesseans came together and voted on and got to his desk regarding medical marijuana, that he would veto it. And I think that is a direct conflict with his job as a governor, which is to reflect the will of the people. So I agree that I don't think there's anything necessarily nefarious about the age gap. I do think it's a little odd.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair for people to think it's a little weird? You know, yeah, 100%. That's fair. I'm just fascinated at the number of people that are so judgmental that they are making comparisons. I mean, and I'm not even comfortable saying some of the comparisons that are being made right now. It's just absurd. It is of far more concern to me. I agree with you, John, that John Rose said this morning on Dan Manis's Nashville Morning News that there's not enough research regarding medical marijuana for him to make a decision about it. I'm like, what?
That doesn't track.
No, where have you been the last 40 years? There's 40 years of medical research regarding medical marijuana. John, thank you for the call. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to put this aspect of the conversation to bed before we get over to the medical marijuana piece by going to Dean, who is on to discuss John Rose. Hey, Dean.
Hey, Matt. How you doing? Love your show.
Thank you.
Actually, I was calling to transition to the marijuana thing. I've got no problem with the age thing. I mean, if her parents are fine with it, it is what it is. You know what? We don't know. I don't have a problem with it. The two things that did strike me as odd about the weed thing is, I mean, he mentioned that he has never done drugs, never smoked weed, never drank. That seems like a priest giving marriage advice. You know, you can do your research, but if you've got, I don't know, it just struck me as odd that he took such a stance on marijuana. But the other part that really bothered me was, you know, he kept referring to gateway drug. And I'm in my later 50s. I don't personally smoke marijuana, but I know plenty of people for decades that have enjoyed marijuana and have not done any other drugs on this planet. And the whole gateway thing is, you know, if you're buying it from a store that's licensed, it's legal, you go in there and all they have is weed, it's different than going to, you know, Johnny Thug on the street who's got everything under the rainbow in a bag and you can buy whatever you want.
You know the biggest. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Dick. You know but you hit on something. This concept of gateway drug. Everybody likes to draw their line. I mean, a lot of people draw their line at weed. Some people draw their line elsewhere, and they love to talk about gateway drugs. Oh, that's a gateway. It's a gateway. You know what the biggest gateway drug in the United States of America is?
Probably alcohol.
Caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
Caffeine. Now, if I were to tell you coffee drinkers out there that we're going to stop the drinking of coffee, don't you give me that look, Ken Weaver. Dean, we're going to stop drinking coffee because coffee is a stimulant, and coffee provides an otherwise unhealthy and unrealistic demeanor that you would otherwise not have. And because as a stimulant, it gives you feelings of euphoria and this, that, or the other thing, it's going to lead you to other types of drugs. Caffeine is, for the most part, the first drug that people consume.
Don't give them any ideas.
I mean, so why aren't we drawing the line there? I mean, forget alcohol, which is obviously far more of a gateway drug than marijuana and legal. I mean, if we want to start backing things up, let's just get alcohol out of the way and move right on to caffeine and start banning the use of those types of stimulants. I mean, right? I mean, and right now you're thinking, well, Murphy, you're being silly. That's a silly argument. Well, I think it's a silly argument to say that people that smoke weed are automatically going to start snorting cocaine and looking for fentanyl. I think it's a stupid argument to suggest that just because Matt Murphy might take a gummy to sleep better at night, that that's somehow going to lead him down a road of, hell's cocaine or whatever it is. I mean, how about human beings have choices to make, and every individual has an opportunity to make good or bad choices about their lives? How about I'm a human being with a brain that God gave me, and I can make decisions about whether I want to drink a beer or whether I want to smoke a joint or whether I want to do a line of cocaine. And just because I do one does not mean that I will ever, ever, ever do another. I'd get worn out on this gateway drug conversation. Worn out, because the same people that are wearing me out telling me that marijuana is a gateway drug, they're going to go to the package store and buy themselves a little toddy to have later on tonight. Well, what about that? Oh, well, you don't drink? Well, do you drink coffee? What about that? Well, I can handle coffee. That's stupid. Well, some people can't. Some people look for that next stimulant down the road. What might that stimulant be? Crack cocaine. That's right. Coffee is a direct gateway to crack cocaine. I made my stand. I'll tell you what John had to say about it, and I disagree with him vehemently on it. It's 52 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I love the YouTube chat. One of the guys in the YouTube chat, his takeaway from my last rant was, Matt smokes crack. I have never smoked crack, for the record. I will say this. I love a good insurance deal. I love Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Shane Ring will get to work. Maybe he's done some coffee in the office, and maybe he'll offer you a coffee in the office to stimulate your brain, to help you understand exactly what getting a better insurance plan for you and your family might mean in the long run, mean to your finances. Cover Nash is the go-to source for all of these things. They don't want you to have to take a math test when you walk through the door. At Cover Nash, they understand that a lot of times health insurance and dealing with health insurance is exactly that. Fine print and surprise bills and all these things. At Cover Nash, they've got a new nationwide PPO plan that gives you the freedom to choose your doctors anywhere in the United States of America, and wait for it now, only a $250 deductible. Call Shane Ring and ask him about this. This is an incredible program, an incredible plan, and it could be just right for you. Friends, CoverNash.com is the website to go to, CoverNash.com, or 615-465-0023, 465-0023 for our friends at Cover Nash.
A 5-year-old student with autism mistakenly placed on a bus here in Nashville. We'll tell you about it at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, no. Hopefully that ends well. We'll find out together. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll continue taking your telephone calls. You'll hear the clip. It was from this morning's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis. Congressman Rose answered a question regarding marijuana legalization in the state and medical marijuana specifically. I have much stronger feelings about medical marijuana than I do about recreational marijuana, but I've got pretty strong feelings about both. I know that comes as a shock. It comes as a surprise that I have strong feelings about a matter like this. This is a great question. Real quick, I don't have time enough for a call, but this is a great question that comes from 8007. I think it's a fair question. Very fair. Why can't 16-year-olds smoke? Sure, it's bad for you. There are a lot of people that have smoked all their lives and don't get sick, but same for alcohol, getting married at 16, driving. We as a society put an age of majority on a lot of things in this country, and we do so because we recognize that there are certain ages where people cannot make appropriate decisions and they might put their own personal health or the health of others in danger. We recognize that there are societal dangers that we allow for adults that have reached the age of majority that we do not allow for youngsters that have not. Tattoos, smoking, drinking, driving an automobile involves the health of other people, that sort of thing. So it's natural for society to place those ages of restriction and ages of majority on the general population in that regard. That's my answer to you. It's 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, reports say a 5-year-old student with autism was mistakenly placed on a bus by his teacher at Ida B. Wells Elementary School, despite arrangements for his mother to pick him up. The bus dropped the child off alone at a park near his home. He was later found by a school counselor. Channel 4 spoke to his grandmother, Rosalind Derrick, who is not happy.
The bus driver had a conversation with him, but, he didn't get a response. But so Zontrell got off the bus and proceeded to walk down the sidewalk. When you didn't see an adult, you should have just called the school or taken him back to the school.
Metro Nashville Public Schools stating they are reviewing the incident, reinforcing dismissal protocols to prevent future occurrences. Well, Tennessee says it's going to seek the death penalty for the man accused of killing a family of 4 last week. 28-year-old Austin Drummond arraigned via video this morning. The judge entering a not guilty plea on 4 counts of first-degree murder on Drummond's behalf, appointed an attorney to represent Drummond, and then denied bond. With the victims' families in the courtroom, the judge revealed one by one that the 4 victims had been shot to death. 21-year-old Matthew Wilson's parents afterward.
It's a whole family gone. It's unbelievable. So we're going to be here every chance we get. We're going to be right here for our son because he cannot be here. They love their daughter.
Meanwhile, they say their son's baby daughter, Weslyn, is still in protective custody and doing physically well. Drummond's next hearing is set for August 14th, 7 days from now. Metro Police, by court order, have shut down a South Nashville business which a judge deemed a public nuisance. The 404 Bar and Grill has been padlocked, the windows boarded up. This officer at the scene telling us.
We've made numerous contacts with the owners and management at this location, telling them our concerns for the location, advising them that if things don't change, that we're going to have to take further routes. And there's just been no change.
Police claim they've responded to at least 120 calls for crimes, including assault and shootings over the past 5 years. The bar will stay closed, at least until the owners get a hearing next week. And President Trump has signed an executive order opening the door for Americans to put their money in higher risk private equity and cryptocurrency investments through 401k accounts ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has more details.
This order directs the SEC Labor and Treasury Departments to help investors get access to those assets by revising regulations and guidance. Now, this could open up a vast new funding source to managers of alternative assets outside of stocks, bonds, and cash. But critics say it could bring too much risk into people's retirement accounts.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Berry Hill police say there's a crash 440 eastbound at I-65. An accident blocking the right two lanes, 65 southbound, right before I-24. And then on I-40 eastbound at Briley Parkway, Metro Police say there's a crash over by the airport. And in Dixon, TDOT reporting an off-ramp partially blocked by a crash. That'll be 40 westbound off-ramp to the Centerville-Dixon Highway 46, exit 172. And back to Berry Hill now. Got an injury accident, 440 westbound, just past I-65. Traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you. It is 7 minutes after 5 o'clock. Thank you for being a part of our day. We so appreciate you, and I hope to be a positive part of your day. If you're driving home, just getting in your automobile, just fresh off of work, congratulations. You made it to the latter part of the week, right? I mean, you've only got one more day to go for most of you, and then it's we call it a weekend, friends.
Some would call it.
Don't you do it. You know what happens. Look. You've got the mic over there. You can do what you want to do, but little puppy.
That is such a bad sound.
Don't do it, Jackson. Don't do it. 8 minutes after the hour now, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 615-737-9986. Cue up John Rose from this morning on Nashville's Morning News with Dan Manis regarding medical marijuana. So originally the question was asked. Chris had John in. John's a gubernatorial candidate. He's going up against Marsha Blackburn. There's one other candidate in the race, and I forget whose name that is. Ken had it for Cito something or another. Can't find a lot of information about him. But there was y'all know me in polls, right? But there was a Beacon poll out, and I just asked a question, and people think that this is somehow, I mean, look, you take what I'm about to say about John Rose and medical marijuana, then you take what I said earlier today on social media on the X machine about Marsha, and everybody thinks that I'm against all of the candidates. I'm not against anybody. I'm encouraging you to not be for anyone until 2026 and allow this thing to play out before your eyes and then see where it goes from there. What I asked earlier on the social media front at Matt Murphy's show on X, do you believe this poll reflects reality in Tennessee? And the poll was a Beacon Center of Tennessee poll that is out today that says, in the field before Senator Marsha Blackburn's official announcement, the August Beacon poll asked Tennesseans who they would support in the 2025 GOP primary for governor, Senator Marsha Blackburn or Representative John Rose. Now, I think that's a typo because there is no 2025 gubernatorial election. It's 2026. And in the actual poll, it says, although the 2026 Republican primary election for governor of Tennessee is still far off, and not all potential candidates have announced their intentions to run, suppose the election were being held today, and candidates were Congressman John Rose and Senator Marsha Blackburn, for whom would you vote? For whom would you vote? So you got Blackburn, Rose, or undecided. Young Jackson, have you seen this poll?
What do you think?
I think you have not.
No.
I'm going to ask you to guess what you think the outcome of this poll was. It's a WAG. You know what WAG stands for, Jackson? Wild guess. Wild bleep guess, right? So I want you to take a WAG at the poll. So the poll is, for whom would you vote? Marsha Blackburn, John Rose, or nobody? Who do you think, first off, who do you think won?
I think Marsha in a landslide.
Marsha in a landslide. Give me a percentage for Marsha.
82.
Not quite that decisive. 66% say Marsha Blackburn. To John Rose's 14%, undecided 19%. And I asked the question on social media, I just find it hard to believe that Blackburn, even before announcing, has a 52-point lead. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, won't be the first time, y'all. I've been wrong plenty. Often wrong, but as my buddy Jay St. Clair says, never in doubt. And I'm not suggesting that this doesn't reflect reality. I'm just asking a question. And that is, do you believe this poll? Some of the responses are as direct as yes. Others say, yeah, if you listen to the Chris Hand show yesterday, Rose tanked his own run in just a few questions. Patriot Punk says, not at all. The overwhelming amount of grassroots voters despise Marsha Blackburn. Chris writes in and says, yes. If someone else jumps into the race, it could change, but the number of people who could change it is a low number. Major Kappa says no. As of now, I vote Rose. My good buddy Steve from Heartland Journal says, yes, name recognition accounts for a lot. Nikki, yes. Mark, no. Or Mark says, I hate that Blackburn is even running. Rose, however, has done absolutely nothing to help his name ID. So early on in the process, and obviously Marsha Blackburn has much better name ID, this morning, so Marsha was on the show yesterday after her announcement, and we appreciate her being on, and I'm certain that she'll be on plenty of times between now and the actual primary. John Rose was on this morning on Nashville's Morning News and was asked to follow up on a question asked of him on the Chris Hand show. And that was regarding medical marijuana or recreational marijuana in the state of Tennessee. Every poll that I've seen, a pretty substantial majority of Tennesseans are agreeable to medical marijuana in this state. Recreational marijuana is a much tougher sell, especially to those in the General Assembly. I'll leave that for after John Rose's comment. He answered the question this way when asked about medical marijuana?
Well, I think what I'm saying is, there are those who swear by, the medical benefits that they've received, pain killing and other things. And so, we have been doing this for literally hundreds of years. We've been identifying substances and extracting the materials or the active ingredients that are useful, and we can do that with marijuana. We have not done as much research there because it was scheduled in such a way that it's not been easy to do that research legally, and so we should let that happen. Absolutely. We should look at everything out there, to see if there are positive impacts that can be, and as human beings, we've learned a lot, and of course, a lot of those have come from home remedies where prior generations of people have realized, this actually works. And so if that's true here, then we should figure that out. Absolutely. There's no reason to stick our head in the sand about that. Right. But I think legalizing the smoking of marijuana, which has many other deleterious impacts and effects, is not the answer. And I think we have ample evidence to see that.
John Rose had gone on further. That was this morning on Dan Mandis's Nashville's Morning News, and good job by Dan asking that follow-up. That was after Chris Hand. I don't know if it was Chris or a caller that asked the question about medical marijuana, but Chris certainly followed up with an excellent question, and that is, let's say hypothetically the General Assembly decides to pass medical marijuana or recreational marijuana, and it gets to your desk, and the vast majority of the people want you to sign it. Would you do it? And he said no. And a lot of people took exception with that you would go against the basic will of the people in that regard. Well, I mean, I understand where some would say, look, I'm just voting my conscience, and I'm doing what my conscience dictates me to do. But here's where I take exception. And I know Congressman Rose, and I like Congressman Rose, and this is not a personal attack on him or his family or anything else. We talked enough about his family last hour. Any suggestion that there has not been large amounts of research on the efficacy of marijuana when it comes to any number of maladies is ludicrous. It's absurd. I've been doing this for 25 years, y'all, and I've been studying this for 25 years, and I had a mother that died after suffering a stroke. It is a little bit personal to me. And I've known people that have suffered debilitating pain that were looking for solutions that did not involve opioids. And they found them in the form of marijuana. I've known people that have sought out illegal marijuana in the state of Alabama, for example. Good people, law-abiding people, who simply wanted to see their mother, their father, their sister, their brother, who oftentimes were in debilitating pain, find some sort of remedy. Now, when John talks about, well, look, if there's any efficacy here, we have ways of extracting it. Oh, you know what that means, y'all? You know what that's code for? That's code for hand it over to the pharmaceutical industry because they're doing everything else so great, aren't they? No. Why should we have to hand everything over to the pharmaceutical industry? And by the way, Marinol does not work nearly as effectively from a medical or medicinal standpoint as does the actual plant itself. And I've long said this. I understand why some people are concerned about recreational use of marijuana. I get it. I understand that you don't want to become Colorado or California or all of those things. And I understand that sometimes we, especially from a faith-based perspective, we are led to gravitate away from the concept of marijuana as a drug for use in these types of ways. But may I suggest that maybe we've been doing it wrong for a long time. If you're a faithful person, maybe that's why God put the plant on this earth. Not for its recreational use, but for its medicinal purposes. And we just haven't gotten there scientifically quite yet. Now, I'll tell you a quick story, and I'll take some of your calls. In Alabama, I had a good friend by the name of Dustin Chandler, who was a police officer in Hoover, Alabama. And Dustin came to me with a Democrat lawmaker in 2012. I think it was, maybe it was 2014. I think maybe it was 2014. Because I believe it was an election year, and I think they had an election in 2010, and Republicans took over in 2010, and they were getting reelected in 2014. I think that's about right. Dustin was a conservative Republican, a police officer, a law-abiding member of society, and he had a little girl who was, at the time, I want to say Carly was 5 years old. Carly suffered from a brain malady called CDKL5. You can look it up, CDKL5. It's a rare brain disorder that caused her brain to fire seizures into her body. Carly, at the time that I first met this precious angel, was having as many as 200 seizures a day. Seizures. And Dustin was looking for a remedy. And he thought, through his research, that he might have found it in what is known as CBD oil. It is an extract from cannabis, marijuana. And he came to me and said, Matt, you know a lot of people down at the legislature. You know a lot of people in this process. I'm trying to get a law passed that would allow my daughter to take CBD oil. And I was having lunch with him and Representative Patricia Todd, like I say, who was a Democrat, who was in the minority. And I said, Dustin, best of luck, buddy, but it's not happening. I said, I appreciate what you're telling me. I appreciate the situation that you're going through. But this is an election year, man. And Alabama is ruby red. You got a lot of Republicans that are trying to get reelected in Alabama in 2014, and there is zero chance in an election year that you're going to get any legislation passed having to do with legalizing marijuana of any kind, whether it's effective or not. That's what I told him. I said, I'll support you in any way I can, because he knew my position on medical marijuana, and it's a long-standing position of mine that I want to see people get treated in a way that is going to best help them. And Dustin said, just help me by promoting my cause and promoting me on the air. And I said, I absolutely 100% will. And I went to work on the air. But Dustin Chandler took off from his job as a police officer. And he put his daughter in his truck every day. And I get teared up thinking about it. And he drove to the state capitol every day from Birmingham to Montgomery. And he walked the halls of that state capitol with his daughter. And he did not ask those lawmakers to tell him no regarding CBD oil. He demanded that they tell his little girl no while she was having seizures. I'm proud to tell you that that law was passed. And they did an efficacy study at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, under the tutelage of neurological scientists at UAB. And they found that CBD oil, and I would encourage John Rose, by the way, to look this up. They found that CBD oil was very effective in mitigating mild, moderate, and severe seizure activity, and that young Carly became a part of a study in the years following the passage of this law that gave very limited ability to allow medical marijuana use in the state of Alabama, and her seizures went from some 200 a day to less than 20 a day. Thanks to the impact and efficacy of CBD oil, which is found in the marijuana plant. I don't say that as an end-all, be-all, or a trump card to anything. I simply use it as an example of what people experience every day. And it's not just seizures. It's chronic pain, it's cancer, it's chemotherapy, it's epilepsy, it is Tourette syndrome, it is Parkinson's disease, it is dementia, it's glaucoma, it's anxiety, it's addiction. I'm telling you, it works. And we don't have to bow before the altar of the pharmaceutical industry in order to see that. And it doesn't mean that we're bowing to recreational marijuana when I suggest to you that I should not have to beg a doctor to give me opioids for my mother because of the extreme pain that she might be going through when there's a much simpler solution right here in front of us? Mine is not advocacy for marijuana. It's never been. Mine is advocacy for freedom. For freedom. For your freedom to choose your best path when it comes to your treatment. It's 23 after the hour on Super Talk. I have a question. Y'all been over to that safe house, Nashville Safe House? Man, it's great. I mean, they're right across the street from City Cemetery on 4th Avenue South. When you walk in, you'll see, well, first you'll see the lobby, and you'll meet some of the fine folks like Mark and his team. Then you walk into the showroom, and you'll see then. I mean, like 200 safes of all shapes and all sizes and all brand names and all fire ratings. I'm talking about Liberty. I'm talking about Fort Knox. And I'm talking Browning, the #1 gun safe in the United States of America for good reason. I mean, but they got them all. They got every price point imaginable, and they have the right one for you. Remember, gun safes are always sales tax free in the state of Tennessee. And I love that about Nashville Safe House. I also love that if you can't find what you like on the showroom, they got another 400 or so safes in their warehouse. They've got something for you at Nashville Safe House. It's what they do. Go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com for more information, or talk to Mark and his crew about what you're looking for. They'll find it either in the warehouse or on the showroom floor. It's Nashville's Safe House. Go to 4th Avenue South. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Nashville Safe House.
We're hearing from the parents of one of the 4 murdered family members in Lake County. We'll let you hear from them, too, coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Looking forward to that. Ken Weaver, Ninkapoop's in the news on the way as well. I have what might be our first Ninkapoo in the news update. I don't think since we've been doing Ninkapoos in the news that maybe you did one time, Ken. For some reason, there's something in the back of my mind that indicates that maybe you did. But
did an update on?
I have a previous Ninkapoo in the news.
Son of a biscuit eater.
I think. Oh, do you have one too?
Yes.
Is it the same guy?
Probably.
Has he got a lot of tattoos?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, well, maybe it's not. We'll
So
find
let's
out.
have-
Well, here's the great thing, Ken. I get to go first.
I know. Son of a biscuit eater.
Does this have anything to do with the lottery?
No.
Oh, well, then very good. You're fine then.
Good thing I got 2 Ninkampoops today, just in case.
Uh-huh. I don't know what just in case has to do with any of this, but I got a Ninkapoo.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
Oh, you hush your mouth. Let me get to, I want to get to, who's been holding the, oh, good gracious. Larry, what's going on, Larry?
Hey, brother, thanks for taking my call.
How you doing, man?
Oh, brother Larry.
Larry, you doing all right?
Yeah, man, I'm I've still got a long road to go, but I'm glad to be above the daisies.
I'm glad you are too.
First of all, kudos to John Rose. I don't care about the age difference. When I was 15, I had a 9-month affair with a 38-year-old woman. When I got married at 18, she was 14 years older than me. It lasted 26 years. And then my last and forever last marriage, she was 15 years younger than me. I don't care about all that. I do vehemently disagree with his opinions on medical marijuana. But the reason I called, Matt, I wanted to give you a little ammo to use against Dan.
Well, I could use some of that.
So when I finally got moved up to the 4th floor and could get Wi-Fi, I'm listening to Nashville's morning news on speaker on my phone.
In the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
And the head nurse walked in, bringing me my coffee, and this was like an hour and a half before the cafeteria opened up so I could actually get breakfast,
Uh-huh.
So she brings coffee in, which is a gateway to crack cocaine.
100%, yes. We've established. Yeah.
And she says, "Is that Dan Mandis?" And I honestly didn't know whether to tell the truth or lie.
Why would you lie, Larry?
Well, because she's in charge of my drugs.
Well, what'd you say?
I said, "Yes, ma'am, it is." And she says, "I love that show, but because of my schedule, I only get to listen maybe once a week. Do you mind if I sit here and listen?" I'm like, "You brought me coffee. You can sit here all damn day long if you want to." So she says, "I love how John keeps his," I won't say that word on air, but I love how John keeps his rear end in check.
I think we all do. That's awesome.
Well, so I send Dan a message, right, from the hospital room.
Uh-huh.
And I told him that, this nurse just came in, and I told him, I said, she just wanted to know if she could sit in. And he says, "Well, I hope she liked the segment." I said, "Dan, she sat through 2 segments. But she also said that she loves how John keeps your, rear end in check."
Uh-huh.
His response was, "I love John. Me and John have a great relationship."
That's madness.
And I said, "Once again, you have called her by the wrong name."
Oh, man. Hey, Larry, I got to go. We're way late for the news, but let me tell you something, brother.
I know, brother, but I love y'all.
Love you too, buddy. And I know you're going through some health issues, and we're thinking about you. You're one of my faves, and we're praying for you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And You nailed Mandis. I mean, I've watched the man write names down of people that he's known for 10 years in the studio. I've watched it happen, and I love him to death. I love John, too. John's great. John keeps me straight. You know who doesn't keep me straight? Ken Weaver, because I'm way late for the news on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and we're hearing from the parents of one of the 4 murdered family members in Lake County. Channel 4 says 21-year-old Matthew Wilson's parents were pleased today when, during the arraignment for the accused killer, Austin Drummond, the district attorney said they intend to seek the death penalty.
It's a whole family gone. You know? It's unbelievable. So we're going to be here every chance we get. We're going to be right here for our son because he cannot be here. They love their daughter.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, they say their son's baby daughter, Weslyn, is in protective custody for now, but doing physically well. Drummond's next hearing is set for August 14th. About 100 miles east of Nashville, charges have been filed against the boyfriend of a woman whose body was found in a burning refrigerator on the side of the road in Overton County. Edward Randolph facing first-degree murder and abuse of corpse charges. His girlfriend's body, 47-year-old Hope Parrott, found inside that refrigerator on July 31st. Investigators claim Randolph killed Parrott, transported her body in the refrigerator, then set it on the side of the road and set it on fire. He was booked into the Overton County Jail on a $50 million bond. We have now learned the route which the Music City Loop Tunnel will take. Channel 4's Marius Payton says the Boring Company's vice president was in town yesterday to talk about it.
Tunnel will start at a state-owned parking lot right outside the state capitol on Rosa Parks Boulevard. It will reach the roundabout right by the Music City Center. Then it goes to Lafayette Street. Then it will turn into Murfreesboro Pike, which eventually borders the airport. The vice president of the Boring Company was in town to talk to city and state leaders. He also talked about the drivers. All of the Teslas that go through this tunnel will have drivers. None will be driverless. They will go through an interview process and have to pass a training test. Driving through the tunnel, they will also always be connected to the company's operations control center, and they'll wear a headset. The control center knows where the drivers and Teslas are at all times.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Woodbine got a crash blocking the right lane, 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. Right lane blocked by a crash 65 southbound before I-24 north. And then over by Fisk University, got an injury crash. That's going to be Jefferson Street at 17th Avenue North. I-40 eastbound at Briley Parkway by the airport. Then 40 eastbound before Donaldson Pike by the airport. 40 westbound in Dixon. That'll be there at the Centerville-Dixon Highway 46, exit 172. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
If y'all were at Grace Point Healthcare earlier today, I mean, I guess it was maybe around 10 o'clock this morning, I waved at you. I drove right by the lovely Grace Point Healthcare in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee. It's right across the street from what used to be the old hospital. Grace Point Healthcare has been there for a long time. They offer affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine done. They say modern medicine the old-fashioned way. I love it. If you go into the office, by the way, ask the team at Grace Point Healthcare, Dr. Rob or the rest of the team, ask them to see the old bathroom because they have a bathroom as it was when the doctor's office was there back in the 1960s. They also have a doctor's office like that, too. But you won't go there to get treatment. You'll go into a modern office and you'll talk directly to your physician about ways that they can alleviate your symptoms to whatever's going on in your world without interference from the insurance company, without interference from the pharmaceutical company. It's a direct doctor-patient relationship, which is the way that it should be. And I love the way Grace Point does their business. Friends, they're a veteran-owned practice. I love that. They treat naturally whenever possible. They get to the root cause of the issue, not just the symptoms of the issue. And as a direct pay provider, they speak directly and respond directly to you and your needs and the needs of your family. Give Grace Point a try. I promise you, you'll never look back from a primary care physician standpoint. 599-6868, 599-6868. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. You ever have one of those days where you're trying to pack it all in, man? I got a lot to say and not a lot of time to get to it. It is 41 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being out there. I still haven't gotten to the Afton Bain audio. I always try to call her Afton Ben. It's Afton Bain. I've got that audio. I still have not gotten to why illegal aliens are counted in the census. I have the background on that for you. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get to that in the 6 o'clock hour of the show. In the meantime, a couple of things before we get to Ninkapoops, and I'll get to your calls right after Ninkapoops, don't you fear. A lot of conversation on the Super Text line about medical marijuana, or recreational marijuana for that matter. I should note that while my focus is on medical, and that's where I'm far more concerned that we're missing out and missing the boat. Several of you have asked me, as a small L libertarian, I believe that you own you. I believe that it is a matter of government control. I believe that government can manage these types of things without making them wholesale illegal. I think that responsible adults have seen fit to act responsibly when it comes to things like alcohol, tobacco, and whatnot for many, many years in this country, and I think they should be able to do that with marijuana as well. You don't have to see a dispensary on every corner. You can regulate. You can manage in a way befitting of the state of Tennessee. It's not a hill that I'm necessarily going to die on because I know many of you disagree with it. You just ask my position and I offer it to you. That no, I would not have an issue if marijuana was allowed in the state of Tennessee to be used, quote unquote, recreationally. That said, I am told that today is Des Dickerson's 70th birthday.
Happy birthday, Brother Des.
Brother Des Dickerson. How about that? Happy birthday. Now you're 1 year older. Happy birthday, Des. We appreciate you. And somebody else says, Matt Murphy for governor.
Yes, sir.
Woohoo! Pay cut. Why in the heck would I want to be? Not me, man. I got hit the sound of that. I got skeletons. I got big old
Nincompoops in the news.
You want to talk about skeletons in your closet? I got dinosaur bones in there, boy. No. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. Never.
Can't wait to release my tell-all.
Oh, you need to figure out a title for that book. Just you work on it. You don't have to come up with one now.
Popped it.
You know what I always said if I ever wrote a book, what the title would be?
What's that?
But that's not why I called. Because you hear that a lot when you're doing our job.
However, that's not why I called.
But that's not why I called.
Yes.
Matt Murphy, you suck, and I don't like you very much, and you yell at people too much, and I don't care for that, and I hate your show, and I listen every day, but that's not why I called. It's time for Ninkampoops, where we share 3 stories with you, and you get to vote on who you think the Ninkapoop of the day is. Somehow, some way, I managed to be the winner yesterday, and so I get to go first. Today, we have an update. Can I get an update sounder? Can I get the update alert? Please. Thank you. We have an update from a previous Nincompoop. We told you about this fella who is from Kentucky, who was living out his time in Florida, who won $167.3 million in the Powerball jackpot. And this guy, he had like a laundry list of criminal charges against him.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he's still down there in Florida, and he's on bond in Florida for something that he did in Florida before they can extradite him back to Kentucky to face charges up there. Y'all with me so far? So he's out on bond, still a millionaire. I mean, they still let him keep his money. Well, the individual by the name of James Farthing was at a local lobby bar of a Florida resort bragging about his financial windfall. As he walked into the bar wearing only a pair of shorts and sneakers, the heavily tattooed James Farthing yelled loudly to everyone in the bar, "I'm a millionaire! I'm a millionaire!" According to Kevin Rushing, a 48-year-old Idaho resident who was down in Florida vacationing at the Trade Winds Resort, he said he was screaming about all of these lottery winnings, and nobody seemed to really care. But what followed was a melee that resulted in felony and misdemeanor charges being filed against Farthing, a career criminal ex-con who's now one of the Bluegrass State's wealthiest men. The incident was captured on police body cam video. Officers called into the resort in response to the unruly behavior of Farthing and his girlfriend. The guy with the tats was basically trying to fight every single person in the bar, according to the deputy. This guy came in acting like he was a bleep hole. I'm just saying. Screaming, "I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire." That was a cop, by the way, saying that. Called him an a-hole.
Yeah.
But he said it. After being called out, Farthing allegedly punched Rushing in the face. The 2 men were grappling on the floor when Deputy Nicholas Aristoco rushed in to separate the two. As the cop was detaining Rushing, Farthing got to his feet and attempted to kick Rushing in the head. Instead, he struck the police officer in the face.
Oops.
Oh.
It's not good.
Can't do that.
The police officer subsequently drew his taser and demanded that Farthing put your hands behind your back right the bleep now and get against the bleeping wall.
Cease and desist.
That's exactly what Farthing did. Well, no, he didn't. He made a run for the exit.
Did he get tased? Tell me he got tased.
The police officer, Aristoto, fired 3 taser darts, one of which struck Farthing in the back. Deputy Mike Harris then executed a flawless form tackle on Farthing, who was bloodied when his face hit the floor. You see, I have him, and you walk up, and you bleeping kick him, and then you kick me in the bleeping face, the police officer told Farthing on body cam video. Farthing laying face down in blood with no shirt on, with just shorts and shoes and all of his tats. Millionaire himself said, "I'm sorry, man." To which the police officer said something that I think we can all identify with.
Yes.
"Save your bleeping sorries for later." He's now facing multiple criminal charges in Florida, and then he'll be extradited to Kentucky, where he faces charges there, too. Farthing's got a lot of money. He's a millionaire.
And he just keeps messing up.
He's a millionaire. He's charged with a June 25th criminal conviction of battery on a law enforcement officer and a lot of other things. I can't take up the rest of the hour telling you how much he's charged with. But
how long is he going to jail?
He's going to go to jail for a long, long time. You might want to, I don't know, you might want to reach out and become his best buddy. You might want to.
Little pen pal action?
Yeah, get a little money out of that deal, you know? Never know what could happen. Jackson, you want to go next?
Yes, 1 second. All right. Florida man arrested after shining laser at sheriff's office helicopter says he was just being silly. This is out of Ocala, Florida. A Florida man arrested for apparently aiming a green laser at a sheriff's office helicopter, claiming he was simply just being silly. The Marion County Sheriff's Office said that their aviation unit was doing a security check in the area of Southwest 154th Lane Road when a green laser beam reportedly struck their helicopter at 2 a.m. According to MCSO, the laser beam obscured the pilot's vision while flying the Air 1. The report states that in response, the crew utilizes the helicopter's forward-looking infrared camera to find the suspect and ended up discovering Adam Santiago Lugo in his driveway equipped with binoculars and a laser pointer. Deputies on the ground responded to Santiago Lugo's location as he continued to aim the laser at the helicopter.
What a moron.
We're just funning.
Yeah, just being silly. Just having a silly, goofy time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Guys being dudes.
We're cranking. We're just cranking.
Just having fun. Don't say that into a microphone.
Cranking?
Let's just not say we're just cranking into the microphone.
I don't know. Oh, did I say something wrong? Oh, my goodness. I got to look that up in the Urban Dictionary. Go ahead,
That's right.
During questioning, deputies said that Santiago Lugo explained his actions, claiming he was just being silly out of boredom. Authorities reported seizing the laser pointer, binoculars, and a flashlight as evidence. What are you doing, bud?
What does just cranking mean?
What does cranking mean, slang?
Oh, that's better. That's a better one. Just cranking.
Oh,
it refers to the act of engaging the starter motor to turn over an engine, usually in an attempt to start it.
That's not it, Matt.
No?
Nope,
Ken, do you have something differently?
Yes, sir, I do.
What
It
do you
says, in slang, cranking can mean several things, but most commonly it refers to being excited or high on drugs, particularly methamphetamine.
I stand by the comment. Ken?
Yes, sir.
You're a nincompoop, sir.
All right, well, we're going back to Kentucky for this one, boys, and I do believe this fellow was one of our subjects back in June.
Another update. Can I get an update horn, please, from you? Another nincompoop update. 2 out of 3.
Murray Police in Kentucky on approximately 5 p.m. on August 6th, a sergeant with the Murray Police Department was patrolling the south side when he observed a male completely naked outside of his home. According to Murray PD, the sergeant noticed that the man, identified as 57-year-old Charles Maupin, also known as Charles Harding, was engaged in a sexual act outside and completely visible to the public. As the sergeant got out of his vehicle, Maupin retreated into his residence, which Murray PD states he refused to exit for some time. Eventually, he came out and was arrested. Maupin was charged with second-degree indecent exposure and resisting arrest. According to Murray PD, this is the 4th time that he's been charged with second-degree indecent exposure in the past 4 months. The last one was in June.
Boy can't keep his drawers on.
How does he keep getting out? Like, after 4...
Out of his britches, or?
Well, I mean, like, don't you go to jail for that, right?
I don't know anymore, Ken. I mean, honestly, I don't. I mean, back in our day, yeah, you would go to jail. You would have to go into jail, and you'd have to be in jail for a while.
I believe you would be.
Nowadays, I don't know. I mean, do they just let you out on your own recognizances? Give you an orange jumpsuit, tell you to keep that handy?
I would tell him that I would put him in a jumpsuit which he can't get out of.
Yeah, he's got something going on upstairs.
Yeah,
maybe he's just hot.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know.
It is summer.
It is hot. Where was this at?
This is in Murray, Kentucky.
It's hot up there in Kentucky. It's steamy, sticky.
Yeah.
Sticky in Kentucky.
Probably about like it is here.
Yeah. I mean, it can get sticky around here. I mean, You want to pull your shirt off, pull your shoes off, pull your britches off. That's how you play. It's 53 after the hour. We call that Ninkapoops in the news. You get to participate by dialing up 615-737-9986 and saying Ken Weaver or Jackson or Matt Murphy. Who's your fave of the day? Susie, John, Mike, John. Don't go anywhere. I'm getting to every single one of you in just a moment. You're my most important focus. It's coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so what are the benefits of working with Alpha and Omega? Well, frankly, if you are in business, in any business that you're in, if you're not in the computer business, you need Alpha and Omega computer consultation on your team because they're going to take care of everything. All of your computer systems in-house, your internet, your printers, your computers, your IT issues, all of it will be handled by Alpha and Omega. You get a real person on the phone with a locally owned MSP right here in Middle Tennessee. That's important to me. It's important that Middle Tennessee folks are helping solve your issues. Right here in Middle Tennessee, you can find it. You don't have to rely on somebody overseas. They deliver customized solutions grounded in industry best practices and proven methods. You enjoy unlimited support and around-the-clock network security monitoring 24 hours a day. That's so important nowadays, too, because you may not know this, but most of you, if you own a business, you're being threatened from a cybersecurity standpoint, no matter how small your business. It's time to get protected with Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega can be found online at aando.net, aando.net, or call 615-784-0096, 784-0096.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Lake County, the state says it's going to seek the death penalty for the man accused of killing a family of 4 last week, then dumping their baby 40 miles away from the crime scene in a stranger's front yard. 28-year-old Austin Drummond appeared in court via video this morning where the judge entered a not guilty plea on 4 counts of first-degree murder on Drummond's behalf, then appointed an attorney to represent him. And with the victims' families in the courtroom, the judge revealed one by one that the 4 victims had been shot to death. Here's 21-year-old Matthew Wilson's parents afterward.
Matthew was a good father.
He was a good boy.
He was a good brother. He was a damn good son.
And they loved their baby.
Absolutely.
They loved their baby. The whole family loved each other.
Drummond was denied bond. His next court hearing is in 7 days. A horrifying discovery about 100 miles east of Nashville, where Edward Randolph allegedly killed his girlfriend, 47-year-old Pope Parrott, transported the body in a refrigerator, dumped it on the side of the road, then set the refrigerator on fire. Her body was found in it on July 31st. While the refrigerator was still burning, a judge ordered Randolph held on a $50 million bond. Metro police officers say they've been called too many times to a business in South Nashville. Channel 4's Jordan James at the 404 Bar and Grill, which has been deemed a public nuisance by a court order and shut down today.
A judge ruled for this to happen after an investigation by Metro Police revealed that over the last 5 years, they had been dispatched to the bar more than 120 times for crimes like shootings, stabbings, and drug-related offenses. Authorities say it was draining their resources. During today's operations, 15 illegal gambling machines and body armor was found that was likely worn by security who were operating without a license.
The bar also under investigation for allegedly serving minors. The investigation's ongoing. No criminal charges have been filed at this time. It's going to stay closed until at least next week when the owners get a hearing. And President Trump has signed an executive order opening the door for you to put your money in higher risk private equity and cryptocurrency investments through a 401k account. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang with more details.
This executive order will allow 401k investors to access alternative assets, including cryptocurrencies, private equity, and real estate. This is just the president's latest move towards embracing digital assets, and it would be a big boost to the sector.
A study conducted by internet watchdog Common Sense Media finds that more than 70% of teenagers are turning to AI chatbots for companionship. Separately, says ABC's Jim Ryan, research finds kids are also seeking out advice from chatbots.
And sometimes with terrifying results. Researchers posing as 13-year-olds say they were able to coax advice on substance abuse, weight loss, and self-harm out of ChatGPT. Even the people behind that chatbot are concerned.
There's young people who just say, like, I can't make any decision in my life without telling ChatGPT everything that's going on.
At a conference sponsored by the Federal Reserve, Sam Altman, co-founder of ChatGPT parent OpenAI, acknowledged,
that feels really bad to me.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Woodbine got a crash blocking the right lane, 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. Talbot's Corner, a crash, right lane blocked, 65 southbound before I-24. And near Fisk University, injury crash reported Jefferson Street at 17th Avenue North. And in Dixon, we've got a police report of a crash 40 westbound at Centerville-Dixon Highway 46, exit 172. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Just reading a piece by Molly Hemingway, who is absolutely fabulous. She writes for The Federalist regarding the Washington Post and their treatment on the breaking news story involving the Obama administration, John Brennan, every inner working of the FBI, the CIA, the National Intelligence, regarding the Russiagate probe or the Russiagate story and what we now know about it and the lack of information coming out of the Washington Post and other liberal media outlets. I was just enjoying that. I encourage you to go join as well. It is 8 minutes after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We thank you for being out there. Now that you have, by the way, young, I almost called you Mason. I really have not been drinking tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm losing my mind. Young Jackson. Now that you have access to, I almost called you Mason. I don't think you were listening to me, so I probably should not admit it now. Now that you have access to the super text line, you are the official tally master.
Oh, so I win every day.
If you start cheating, I'll take this honor away from you.
It's looking like you again, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
This is rare.
Yeah,
it's rare for me to win at all.
You win 2 in a row. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I've got a couple. Weaver's got a couple, but the rest are all you.
Thank you, sir. I think that's 2 times that old boy, multi-millionaire Kentucky Bluegrass boy, has won me a Ninkapoo in the News award. So thank you, Mr. Farthing. May you get tased again at some time down the road so I can relate the story to the thousands of listeners of this radio audience and have another victory under my belt.
3 in a row is the toughest.
And I don't. The only one that's ever had 3 in a row is one Ken Weaver.
Brother Weaver. We've each had 2 in the last couple of weeks.
Ken Weaver knows how to get it done. He is far and away the Ninkapoo master. All right, let's get to your telephone calls as promised. 10 minutes after 6 o'clock, Super Talk 99.7 WT, and I've got a number of other things to talk about. I can relate to you any number of stories about medical marijuana and some of the research that's been done. I would hope that John Rose will do the necessary research himself and realize that there have been plenty of studies about medical marijuana and its efficacy. I understand your concerns if you're not a fan of recreational, but I do not understand your concerns regarding medical marijuana. Well, I'll say this, except in as much as it's been used to create a dynamic by which people use it for recreational purposes, right? I mean, California is a great example. I mean, California passed medical marijuana, but it was such a loose law that everybody knew what they were doing. I mean, you could literally go to you had to get like a $25 doctor's certificate that would give you access to some of these dispensaries, and it was just perfunctory. All you had to do is say, I got lower back pain. Okay, here's your certificate. Go get your medical marijuana, and it was just an excuse to use it recreationally. It does not have to be that way necessarily. Not in Tennessee. Not anywhere, really. John is next up. John, thank you for the call. How are you?
Hey, Matt. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
So you nailed it on the head before about, medical marijuana is just a given. It should be not only try to just put it through the green light, just go through it and find out what you can that can help people. But for the recreational part, I mean, you could take this and just compare it to alcohol, like you said before. I mean, anybody that has their hands up in the air and wants to preach about it and it's a sin and all this stuff, I mean, those same people drink, and if one has to go, the other does too, in my opinion. It's like they're the same thing, and that's all pretty much I have to say.
Well, John, I'm glad you held to say that. It's well spoken. Here's the deal, too. I mean, I understand why people believe that it's a net drain on society. There's plenty of things that we allow in our society because we believe in freedom. And in a freedom-loving society, the government will permit things that I might disagree with. And I understand the dangers of drinking large amounts of alcohol. I also understand personal responsibility. Alcohol can be used in a way that does not endanger the lives of other people. It can also be abused in such a way where it kills people, not just the people that are abusing the alcohol, but others who might die at their hands based on alcohol-related violence or traffic accidents, drunk driving, and the like. Does that mean that we should make it illegal? Now, that's one question. Secondarily, and as importantly, in my opinion, does making it illegal make it inaccessible? And of course it doesn't. It did not during Prohibition. As a matter of fact, the only thing that came out of Prohibition was an extreme growth in organized crime. Prohibition made the mafia in America. Made the mafia. Made them a tremendous amount of money. You know who didn't want Prohibition to end? The mafia. We would call them drug lords now, but they were alcohol lords back in the day. They didn't want Prohibition to end because they had a racket at a black market. And I'm certain that some on the black market with regard to marijuana sales would feel the same way because they get to charge what they want. I am not here to say that I would want a dispensary on every corner. I understand the negatives that come with that in our society, but I would suggest to you that it's here. It's already here. Making it illegal does not prevent it from being accessible. Susie is next up. Susie held for a long, long time, and I appreciate your patience. Susie, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
I tried to call in earlier. I heard that lady talking about her student loan, and she was crying. I used to collect on student loans, and people don't realize the financial situation they get into when they go in default of a student loan. There's credit score damage. You can your wages can be garnished. Loss of tax refunds and federal benefits, loss of loan benefits and eligibility for loan. And when you go in default and your loan is sent to the collection agency, they can attach 25% penalty charges and interest that the collection agency charges. So when you borrow that money, if you do not repay it back within that time and you go in default, then yes, you're going to owe way more than you did, when you got the loan. And a lot of these kids, they'll get a loan for college and they won't use it for college. They'll go on a shopping spree or they'll put a down payment on a car. And, they don't use that money. And I think the sad thing is some of these grandparents, if they sign for their grandkids or the parents sign for their grandkids, if that loan is not repaid, then that goes back on the parents and that goes back on the grandparents. They can actually come in and garnish the older people's Social Security check. And then if you call in and you try to pay, you have to do a consolidation or you have to rehabilitate your loan, which rehabilitation is better than consolidation. So it was a sad job for me because of that.
How long did you do it, Susie?
It was about 3-4 years. And I worked in different departments. I worked in collections, which I didn't like. I worked in consolidation. But I think the department that I really enjoyed working in was rehabilitation, because I was able to get them into a program for 6 months. After the 6 months, what happens is a new lender will come in and take their loan over, and then they can renegotiate their payments. But if you default on a student loan, it's going to cause you a lot of grief. And here in Tennessee, a lot of people don't realize if you default on the student loan and you don't pay it back, they can come in and take your license. If you're a doctor, a nurse, or whatever license you have, that license can be taken away from you. So there's a lot to do with being in default.
Well, yeah, I mean, you agree to borrow money, you got to pay it back. Otherwise, you got to pay the piper.
And the lady crying, because I owe more than what I, originally had gotten on the student loan. Well, yes, because you went in default. So, it's very important for the parents and the children to understand that when you borrow that money, yes, it's got to be paid back. One way or another.
Yeah, I mean, and Susie, thank you so much for holding. Thank you for the call. Jackson, were we talking about student loans at any point today? Huh.
No.
Maybe that was somebody else.
Insightful info, though.
Oh, so was Chad? Was Chad talking about?
Yeah, he played it off of social media. It was on Chad Benson's show.
Oh, it was Chad Benson from noon until 3. Well, Susie, thank you for listening. Thank you for being an all-day listener. I appreciate that. Here's what I would tell you about student loans. There are far too many people that are going into debt to go to a liberal arts college to get a degree that they're never going to need or never going to use. When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I wanted to be an actor or in radio. And I went to a liberal arts college. I'm glad that I did. It took me about 5.5 years to get a 4-year degree. I will say that I grew up a lot in college, and I'm thankful for those years. I don't know that my degree was necessary. Thankfully, I had scholarships, and I worked to pay for some of my schooling. My scholarship took care of a lot of my tuition. I did not have a lot, all that to say, I did not have a lot of student debt when I came out of school, but I probably had about $40,000 worth of student debt. I don't consider that a lot. Maybe it wasn't even 40. Maybe it was a little less than that. Bottom line was this. I managed to pay it off in a reasonable amount of time. I'm saddened because we were taught, not explicitly, but kind of implicitly. It was implied to us that if you did not end up at a 4-year college, that you had somehow failed. That was implied back in the 1980s. It was almost expected for many of us that you ended up in an institution that would grant you a 4-year degree. And that is, I was talking to my barber the other day about this, that it's unfortunate that we got that mentality when I was growing up, because there are so many trades that are so well paying that young people could have gone into, not having to do with a 4-year degree, that would not have caused them to incur the amount of loan debt that they eventually incurred on what? An art history degree? An English degree? What can you do with an English degree besides teach English? Serve coffee? What do you do with an art history degree besides teach art or work at an art museum? And there aren't a lot of those positions. You know what people do need? Welders, plumbers, electricians, barbers, tradesmen, These are noble professions. And they got the shaft for a while. And I'm thankful that we live in a society that we're bringing the nobility of those roles back to America. There's a nobility in being a mechanic, and I can say that as the grandson of a mechanic. Worked all of his life with his dirty hands. So, yeah, I understand the frustration. 615-737-9986. We'll talk student loans or weed or Afton Bain coming up next on Super Talk. You know, here's the great thing. Earlier today, I was out and about. I mentioned that I was down in the Franklin community. I was out with Sean at Premier Generators, and I watched for myself as an install happened. And it was such a wonderful day. The homeowner was very excited. Everybody was very excited, and it seemed like something that every single one of you should be doing in Middle Tennessee. You need to call Sean or one of his team members at Premier Generators to find out when they can give you a consultation and get out to your home to deliver a home generator system for you from Premier Generators that'll make sure that the power just doesn't go out any longer. That's what it's all about, friends. Sean has an answer for any and all of your questions about home generation with Premier Generators. They're the #1 Generac generator dealer in Middle Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee. And they're offering their one-of-a-kind 10-year warranty. 10-year warranty. You got to call today to get this offer. It's a 10-year warranty on that system. I absolutely love it. The power will always be on when you make the call to Premier Generac Generators. Go to premiergenerators.com. That's premiergenerators.com. Or call 855-POWER-IS-ON, 855-PWR-ISON, 855-797-4766 for our friends at Premier Generac Generators. You know, as I sit here thinking about the Glock Store, the thought occurs to me, have you ever shot a Glock with an optic? You know, I was probably, 45, 46 years old before I did. I shot a lot of Glocks before I shot one with an incredible optic. Well, did you know that at the one and only Glock Store, that for $6.99, you can get a 10-round sample pack and you can shoot one of their Glocks from the rental department with either a Holosun or Vortec optic on it. That's two of the more popular brands. It's at the Glock Store, so you get to understand exactly what you're missing out on. And let me tell you something. Be warned, when you do this, you can't go back. I know that my 43X has an optic on it right now because I shot one with an optic on it, and I absolutely loved it too much. You know, they have an incredible manufacturing department, and one of their manufacturing machines, actually 3 of them, are dedicated to cutting Glock slides to precisely fit the red or green dot optic of your choosing, and they'll do it in 10 days or less. So if you bought your Glock without optics and you want optics on it, maybe you do that test run and you see the difference, don't worry, because they're a one-stop shop for all of these things at the Glock Store. Everything Glock is right there under one roof at the Glock Store. And most new guns, they come optic ready, or MOS, modular optic system ready. But for you older the folks who maybe have an older Glock, go ask them about how they can fit you with an optic with your older Glock. It's the Glock Store, the one and only. They're on Airlane Drive just off of Elm Hill Pike just off of Broadley Parkway, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. It's the Glock Store. Oh, yeah, I keep telling myself I got to listen to that story, and I've missed it twice now. We'll get to the news coming up in just a couple of minutes, your telephone calls as well. A lot of response to our conversation about student loan debt and the subsequent conversation about how, learn a trade. Friends, if you have a youngster and they're not sure what they want to do, I mean, there's no doubt a 4-year degree is right for some people, and you'll need that for some professions. But it's not right for everyone. Learn a trade. I mean, 7014 says you can be a service advisor in Cookeville, Tennessee, and make close to $100,000 a year. Tim writes in and says, we need more machinists. Amen, brother. We do. I mean, and then a trade can involve a trade school that's not necessarily a 4-year degree that might lead you into IT. Now, I understand that STEM fields are big, and it makes sense. Science and, technology, all those sorts of things, mathematics even. But my goodness gracious, if you learn a trade, I promise you, plumbers aren't going out of business. If you're a good plumber, you're not going out of business. People need a plumber. They need to get the toilet unstopped. And if they don't know how, they'll call you. Mark is next on the phone. Hello. Oh, Mark, hold on a second. I had Richard here, and Richard's been holding a long time. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. I almost jumped you there, Richard, but I got back to it.
It's okay. I was going to talk about marijuana issue, but then you broke spades on the student loan issue, so I was wondering if I could jump topics on you.
Absolutely. I love that reference, too. Yeah, I broke spades. I like it.
All right. Well, so I got an 18-year-old that's he's getting a job. He's doing home delivery with one of the big boxers, FedEx, and what he's doing is he's going to save up his money for the next 3 years. And I told him if he could save up $2,500, I'd throw him the other $2,500. So when he turns 21, he can get a CDL. And when he gets a CDL, he puts in a year of experience with any kind of over-the-road or local driving business, and then he can get a job hauling local fuel, making good money. I got a buddy whose son is 26, and he hauls fuel locally here in Tennessee, and he cleared $110,000 last year.
Wow.
So it's very easy to be making big bucks as long as you start off on the path early, get your experience, keep your driving record clean. You can't smoke marijuana, unfortunately, when you're a truck driver, but as long as you keep your nose clean and everything and you're driven, you don't have to go to school and owe nobody anything. You can make people owe you.
That's exactly right, brother. Exactly right. You got
That's
time?
all I got, brother.
Well, I appreciate you, Richard. Thank you very much. I think about my nephew. My nephew graduated from high school. My nephew was in junior ROTC. And during the first Trump presidency Alex wanted to be in the military. I talk to my brother about this all the time, who might still be listening to the show. Brian said he had checked in. Brian and Lisa from over in Seal, Alabama. Hello, if you're still listening. So my brother, he tells me the story, and I'm just uncle. I'm just, the uncle sitting over here. But he said, Biden comes into office and Alex lost interest in the military, and eventually, just based on public perception, and he said, I'm not so sure about the military anymore. And so he decided he was gravitating a different way. And Brian, being a great dad, and my brother is my brother's a lot of things, knucklehead in a lot of ways, but he's a great father. And, he advised his son, trades. He recognized his daughter, my niece, went to school took geology. And there's a lot of different fields you can go into in geology. You can work for the government. You can work for an environmental firm. You can work for the oil or gas industry. They need geologists all the time. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize that degree. But she has her 4-year degree. She's now doing graduate school. I mean, Clara was made to go to secondary education. Alex was not. You're different kids are, y'all know this. One kid is different than the other kid. They're not all, a mold that are going to go in a particular direction. Thankfully, so Brian's advising Alex to, maybe think about welding school, maybe think about a machinist's trade. And then Donald Trump got back into office during his senior year of high school. And lo and behold, how about this? The American attitude about our United States military turned around. And wouldn't you know it, Alex's attitude about the United States military turned around. And now I am a proud, proud uncle of a young man who is in boot camp. As we speak, I'll be missing a couple of days in October, by the way, Jackson, because I'll be attending young Alex's graduation. It's I was trying to look up my brother sent me this. And it is in it's in Missouri. I know that. Well, I can't find it right now, but it's in Missouri. Golly, I wish I could find it. Anyway, one way or the other, I'll be missing a couple of days to attend graduation because Alex is currently in boot camp in Missouri, in God's country in the middle of America. And we're so proud of him. It's 33 after the hour on Super Talk. Hot outside. I mean, not as hot as it's been, but the AC is still working hard, friends. They're working hard for you. And if your AC is not working hard enough, if you notice that it's suffering or perhaps it's breaking down on you, it's time to make the call. Many others have made that call before you. That call is to Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. You know, I understand it because with HVAC, you don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about HVAC. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know how to plug something in. I mean, if it's a fan or whatever, but when it comes to an air conditioner, what are you talking about? But I don't have to because I know Jeff Eddy. Jeff Eddy is as trustworthy as the day is long. He's going to tell you the truth about your AC unit. Now, if it's time, it's time. But oftentimes, we can get another cycle out of that unit. We can get another few months. And if we get you to a few months from now, then we've made it past the summertime, and we can worry about that expensive replacement cost at another time. But if it's time, Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, they'll tell you that as well. They never charge you overtime rates. They want to keep that invoice down, so they don't believe in it. They'll come out, they'll fix what ails your system, and if it is time to replace, they can recommend you. Whatever system is right for you and your family. They're an elite pro partner with Rheem. Call today at 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or efficienthvac.net. Efficienthvac.net. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy until 7 o'clock tonight. Mark Levin at that time. Before you know it, we'll have a Friday edition in front of you. I hear that you're going to abandon me tomorrow. That's what I hear, Jackson.
Yes.
I hear correctly?
Yeah.
You
not
leave
here
me,
tomorrow.
You know, you leave me in the capable hands, not Bell. Did you hear?
I have not heard.
Louie. Young Louie will be producing the show tomorrow from 3 until 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I've not had the pleasure of having an on-air. I've met Louie from time to time. I think he has done some work with Dan Mandis in the morning, but he'll be here in your absence. I wonder if Louie is aware that he is expected to bring a Ninkapoo.
That's something you need to let him know.
I will make sure that he does. One way or the other. I'll be here. Jackson will be working, never you fear. I guess the sports ball calls over there.
Yep, I'll be hanging out with 3HO tomorrow.
I get that. But we appreciate you being here today, Jackson. That's all I can tell you.
Appreciate you, bud.
I will have checked out by now tomorrow. Like official. I checked out for my investment seminar. Thank you to all of you alerting me. I could not remember it for the life of me. My brother's actually listening to the show over in Alabama, and he wrote wrote me this note, too. It's Fort Leonard Wood. And as many of you, I mean, a lot of you threw it out there. I said Missouri, and you were like, oh, no, it's got to be Fort Leonard Wood, where my nephew Alex is taking basic training right now. And he seems to be having a good enough time as one can. And we're very excited about graduation coming in October. I'll be gone. I'm thinking of driving, though. I think driving's the way to go. What do you think, Jackson? 7 hours and 15 minutes driving versus if I fly into St. Louis and I still got to drive an hour and 45 minutes.
I would fly.
That means renting a car, though, Jackson.
Yeah, you might get to drive something cool.
Well, sure, but I own something cool. I got a big truck.
Drive a little sports car.
I'm just thinking of the money.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know, by the time you fly, you know, you get in there, you got to get the rental car, then you got to do all of that thing. I'm thinking, and I've got the pleasure of having the autonomy of being able to take my weapons with me. I like that. I'm telling you, as I get older, I like flying less and less because when I get to where I'm going, I mean, a lot of times where I'm going is dangerous. Have you seen Washington, D.C. lately? Donald Trump's trying to take it over, and rightly so. I don't know about St. Louis. Never been to St. Louis.
You've never been to St. Louis?
Why you got to say it that way?
I don't know. It just seems like the area we live in. It's a pretty easy city to get to.
Well, I've only been here for about 4 years, Jackson. I got a lot of places to go.
Alabama's not that far away either.
That is true. You ever been to Alabama?
I have, unfortunately.
You said that right.
Not as bad as Georgia, though.
What? Where you been in Georgia? Don't say Atlanta. You say Atlanta, I'll say Atlanta's not really Georgia.
I've been to Atlanta.
Uh-huh. That's not really Georgia.
I've been to Savannah.
Savannah's a beautiful town. Beautiful town.
Touristy.
Where do we live, Jackson?
Yeah,
touristy.
If I want touristy, I can go down the street.
Stay here, right? Oh, I hear you there. Pull up my Afton Bain segment so we can get to that. But thank you to all of you alerting me. Fort Leonard Wood, including my brother, who finally got his late birthday present. You know what I got my brother for his birthday?
No.
You remember those snazzy shoes that I called my OxyContin shoes?
Oh, your Hey Dudes?
Yeah, my Pabst Blue Ribbon Hey Dudes.
Yeah.
Got my brother a set of those.
Ooh.
Sent them off. Oh, yeah. He digs them. It took me a while because his size is not exactly something that is frequently. He's got big old feet.
What size shoe?
13 or 14, I think. 14,
yeah, I wear a 14 and a half.
Yeah, see, that's big old feet. You know what they say about big feet?
Big socks.
Big socks, big shoes. Danny is next up, wants to talk about opioids. Hey, Danny, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I've been listening to y'all station religiously every day.
Glad you are, Danny. Thank you.
I don't miss it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
But you talk about the opioid. I've got a condition called neuropathy. I've had it for about 6 years. And I take very high quantity of pain pills, oxycodone, morphine, gabapentin, and now they're getting to where they don't do any good at all, hardly. I'm in such, my feet's busted open, my legs done turned black. They sort of insinuated that we have to do some amputation pretty soon. I've tried to talk to my doctor, see if he couldn't get me on this medical marijuana, and he said, no, he can't. So, I'm stuck with this medication that's really destroying my life, whereas I had to take all this morphine and all that stuff, it's really taking me down, and I don't know what to do anymore, the pain is incredible, and I get to where I can't stand up, I can't walk, I stagger and I fall over.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
And it's, I can't feel anything. My feet are numb and my hands are numb, and everything is just numb,
Yes, I just hate it.
It's not a life to live anymore. I fell about 9 years ago and severed up my neck on my nerves on my back that runs down my whole nervous system.
Is there anything that gives you relief, Mr. Danny?
That's all I can do. That's all he gives me is those oxycodone and morphine, gabapentin. And the oxycodone and stuff has gotten to where I've had so much of it, it does not work anymore. It doesn't relieve the pain. And, you know, I'm probably down toward the end of, see, I'm almost 80 years old, so I'm getting down there pretty close to, maybe I may not have many more years left. I don't know. I don't know if I can put up with this stuff many more years. You know, I have almost attempted suicide a time or two.
No, well, I hate to hear that.
So, you know, like I said, if I could get on something else that, you know, I've took this so long it don't do any good. And y'all got to talk about the medical marijuana the other day, and that sounded like a pretty good thing, you know, if I could get the doctor to go in on it. I don't know.
Mr. Danny, do you have family?
Yes, I do.
Good. Are they good to you?
Well, they live about 100 miles from here.
Yes,
where I live.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you?
You know where Aaron, Tennessee is?
Did you say Aaron?
Aaron, yes.
Spell that for me, Mr. Danny.
Not much on spelling. It's just about 20 miles this side of Dixon, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Out in the wilderness.
Out in, my mama used to call that Plum Nelly. Plum out in the country and Nelly out the state.
It is nearly out of state. Yeah, like I said, I listen to y'all everyday religious, you know, and y'all come up with this thing here, you know, maybe my feet are already bursted open, and
when you say this side of Dixon, you're talking about Nashville side?
No.
You talking about the other side?
West.
Okay.
Yeah, go west.
Mr. Danny, I don't like hearing folks talk about, you know, giving up now. I mean, you know, I don't want you to give up.
I'm not going to give up. I've been doing it for 7-8 years now, so it's I just have to make the best of it.
Well,
I pray to the Lord every night.
Yes, sir.
Got my Bible sitting right here looking at it. So I rely on Jesus Christ.
Well, would you do me a favor, Mr. Danny?
Yes, sir.
When you bow your head and say a prayer tonight, would you throw me in there?
I will do it, Mr. Murphy.
I'll do the same, okay?
Buddy, I like you. I love you.
I like you too, buddy. Thank you. And keep calling me. Keep calling me. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just don't give up. We'll be back in a minute. Five separate locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate locations at EuroFix. They've just got a different business philosophy at EuroFix. They staff all of their locations with more folks than they really need. Why do they do this? Why do they have the extra staff member or two? Because they never know when you're going to pop up, when an emergency might pop up. Have you ever noticed how hard it can be to get a right now appointment at an auto place, a vehicle repair? I mean, it's next to impossible in some dealerships. Next to impossible with some dealers, more than 2 weeks out. Not at EuroFix. They have provided you a 3-year nationwide warranty and the staff to fix your car right now if you're tired of waiting forever. Aaron Stokes says we will never be too busy for our customers. We're here to take their pain away right now. EuroFix fixes all European automobiles, and they say yes when others say no. Family owned for 26 years. 844-EuroFix. That's 844-EuroFix. Or visit myEuroFix.com. That's myEuroFix.com. Hello, folks. It's Matt Murphy for Volunteer Outfitters. Have you been up to Hendersonville? Well, if you've been to Hendersonville, you've been close to Volunteer Outfitters on New Shackle Island Road, and they're just a few miles down the road from all those high prices with brand names like Drake, Huck, Bandit, and so many others. Folks, if you love the outdoors, you need to get to Volunteer Outfitters. Now, they can fit your school-age children for back-to-school time. They can fit you for the fall season, whether it's hunting attire you're looking for or maybe sports paraphernalia and sports attire for the team of your choosing. They've got SEC schools abound. They've got more than just SEC. They got a lot of different collegiate wear at Volunteer Outfitters. Go by and see them. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you. Talk to Tommy today. He'll give you a special deal. They got great... I think they had like 30% off Bama gear. I mean, I'm just saying, because the name Volunteer Outfitters keeps the Bamas away. But you can go just like anybody else to Volunteer Outfitters, New Shackle Island Road. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know. I got Mark on the line. I got to get to Mark first. Might have to hold Afton Bay until tomorrow. I don't know because I got a lot of things to get to and a short time to get there. Mr. Danny, thank you for the call again. I apologize for getting a little broken up. I don't like to hear people talk about giving up. I just don't like to hear it. So, Danny, I need a favor from you if you're still listening, and I want to tell you something. The favor is this, Mr. Danny. I need you to call me back tomorrow. Okay? That's as simple as that. Just give me a call back tomorrow. And the thing that you need to know is that there's a lot of folks that are out there listening right now that heard our conversation, and they say that they're praying for you, Mr. Danny, and I am too. I hope you find the relief that you're looking for, and God bless you. I hope it's soon. Whatever we can do to provide you some relief, I'll make it happen in any way I can. I love you. I appreciate you, and I know that God loves you too. And thank you for praying for me because I need it. God knows I need it. Mark is next on a online one with a conversation about student loans. Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Great, Mark. Thank you.
You know, my daughter went to college for 8 years, and I paid by the semester, and she said, Daddy, why don't you pay for the whole year? I said, well, if I pay for the whole year and you decide you want to quit, I don't get my money back.
Amen.
I paid 8 years every semester, and she said, that's an inconvenience. I don't care. I'm paying for it.
Oh, man, oh, man. You know, I love it. I love the attitude. That's exactly right. You never know, especially at that age, what they're going to do moment to moment, much less semester to semester.
She went to UNC for 4 years, then went to California, went to USC for 4 years. I couldn't afford to pay for a whole year and then her drop out and me not get my money back. So those people that have student loans, well, that's your stupidity.
Well, I mean, the way that I look at it, and everybody wants, and I understand that people get themselves in a pickle, and thank you, Mark, for the call. I get it. I mean, look at poor Jackson there. Jackson's probably bathed in student debt.
Nope, I was very lucky. My parents
good
paid for my
you.
education.
I almost would have been able to guarantee that. I mean, because you come from a good home, and that's good on you and good on them. But some, they want a certain thing. They want a degree. What happened to working for a year? I know people think it's crazy. What happened to? I mean, I was blessed with. I had a scholarship, and I worked. I had a job every quarter. We were on the quarter system. Every quarter I was at West Georgia. I had a job of some form or fashion, whether it's shop foreman or Waffle House or Subway or whatever. But what happened with, I don't have the money to pay for my school this year. I'm going to have to take a year off. I need to work. I need to save money, and then I'll go back to school. What happened to that? My goodness. My apologies to Afton Bain. We'll have to wait until tomorrow to get to you at 7 o'clock. Until next time, it's a First Amendment Freestyle Friday edition tomorrow on the Matt Murphy Show. I look forward to seeing you bright and early at 3 o'clock. Until then, have a good evening, folks. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.